Okay, back with another live stream. And go back to work again on trying to back up my videos and other files on my phones over an SSH connection. And let's see, let me get gotta get the other mouse. See, I gotta make sure my sound is good on my live stream and everything. I can see the videos playing over there. Okay. All right, it's good. Now, I've already been trying various, applications, and let's see what do we got here. Okay, yeah, that's my IP. I'm going to need that. These are just shortcuts to my. So look, if I click on Cam 1, it's up. So that says I don't have that's for IP webcam app. That's not related to what I'm really doing. It's just, and see if I click on it, that's the audio. I could hear it. I didn't mean to click on that. I meant to click on that one so I could see and see all these controls. You can zoom in and do all kinds of things there. So it's just a quick way to get the IP address because I always forget which one has what IP. And stream's yellow, but maybe it'll turn green since maybe it'll turn green in a little while. So usually it has been most of the time. Okay, so I used Lucky Backup. I did the main thing I thought Lucky Backup would be the best way to go, and it worked really well once I got it set up. Except it seems to be doing basically. It skips files that are 3 gigabytes and over, or about that. That's what it seems like. I used to use Crusader to do it over SFTP, and it has a sync function, but it doesn't. They dropped support for it. I did Lucky Backup, but it didn't get my files. Before I had done it with FileZilla. Let's see, I don't know where it is. If you never heard of FileZilla, I'll show you the icon. I'm not going to open it up, but use the desktop. I started typing before the desktop search window had even opened up. Yeah, now my stream's finally green. Okay. Come on, app. Now I can search once it gets finished opening. Machine's acting slow right now. So that's the icon for it. You might recognize that icon, but it'll do FTP, FTPS, and SFTP. And SFTP is what I would use. You could use FTP. I've never used FTPS. I don't even know what it is really. What's the difference about it? But FTP and SFTP is what I've been using. It's what I learned with FTP, and then later I learned about SFTP. In the early 2000s, and I've been using SFTP ever since not because I'm worried about somebody snooping on my connection here in my local network, but because number one thing is it keeps the file dates in the information of the dates, the creation dates, and that is so important to me with my backup so that I can figure out like these videos. If the date was changed, if you just do straight FTP, the date will be whatever day you transferred it. So see, these are all different dates. All of those, if I copied those over or synced them with FTP and FileZilla, they would all have the same date. And then it would really, and see, a lot of times I don't rename them. I just leave them like that. So the only difference is the numbers in them. So I don't know what goes with what unless I manually rename them like that. I usually only do that on YouTube. Lately, I've been doing these because some of those weren't live streams, and I was going to upload them, and some, different reasons. So anyway, it's real important to me to get that, but it's even more important to get the files actually backed up. I tried using Total Commander, my very first twin panel file manager I discovered for Windows back in early 2000s, or maybe I might have found it in 98 or 99, but anyway, I probably did find it in 98 because I started out using it on Windows 3.1, and that's what I was using it. An old Packard Bell 486 and on AOL, and that's when I really got into the internet, when Just so happened that AOL had a good deal, here where we lived, and AOL was dial-up. If you don't remember that, but anyway, I tried, and I had that's a Windows program, so I was running it in Oracle VirtualBox in Windows XP, but I couldn't. It wouldn't connect to my SSH Droid. I'm using SSH Droid on my phones. It's an app on my phones that will. It's a little SSH server, so you can connect to it, and it uses by default port 2222. And I just left it like that because I figured if I changed it, I ran into that in the past, it might foul up some of the functionality of the app or something. The standard port for SSH is and SFTP is 22. And that might be why Total Commander wouldn't connect, and it also might be just because I noticed it's popped up and said it had an update. It could be that the protocols, it's not supporting the newer protocols. I need to update it, and it might then. But I didn't want to keep fooling with it because I really want to be able to do it in Linux quickly and easily, not having to have an extra, use so much resources. And it's not it is kind of time consuming because I don't use the XP virtual machine very often, and so this machine couldn't handle 7 on top of the Fedora 28, so I can't put 7 on the virtual machine. And I wouldn't even touch Vista or anything like that, or 10, So anyway, then I remembered after I shut down my last video yesterday, I remembered that you can go up here to Places, go right there and say Connect to Server, and connect to any kind of FTP. Let's see, you can do FTP, FTP with a login, Windows Share, Web Dev, Secure Web Dev. SSH is how you do SFTP, and Apple Filing Protocol. So then you put in your IP address, and I went ahead and did that because I just wanted to see if I could connect. So I've got a connection made and saved it as a bookmark. I don't normally I don't like these Windows Explorer style file managers. That's what I discovered once I discovered. I had a lot of trouble with them with the dragging and dropping, and I was always losing where I put stuff or overwriting things I didn't mean to, and getting duplicate folders and stuff. Let me see, what do I want to open up? Well, I'll just you can say home folder. You can click that icon. I'll just go to home folder. It's going to open up the same. There's more than one in this system. I have more than one of these style of file managers because they have different. Like this one, I'll see what it is. I don't remember, KJ or KJ. That's the default with Fedora for several years now. And Thunar, as far as these kind of file managers, I like Thunar better because, well, number one reason is because you can open a terminal here. You can right click and say open terminal here, and you can, I may have actually been able to add that functionality to this. Let's see, what's our IP address while I'm jabbering away? 141. Camera 2, 141. I must have connected to the other phone. Oh, okay, I did. So I haven't done that yet. There's my bookmarks. Oh, wait, there it is. Yeah, 141. The name is... let's see if we can rename that right now, because that's confusing. I don't mind. Yeah, let's see. SFTP is fine that way, I know. I don't know why that just did that. Oh, SFTP, that is the login information. Dawn it. Yeah, that's why. So I don't know why I did that, but so it's already connected. See, I already have a. Did it connect? Oh, I just renamed it and clicked on it yet. I'm just still in my Dawn folder. Okay, so we'll click on it. Now we got to get the password. Let's see. I can look at it here. And now we're on the phone. Now I'm like, you don't. This phones are not rooted, so I can't go into, like say the root directory and stuff like that. But I can go into where my videos is the thing I want to check. There's a particular one video I copied links of here. I made that I want to go look at. But let's see. There it is. Storage. SD card O is my SD card, and SD card 1 is the onboard storage. So, I made it the default storage because the onboard is only like 2 gigabytes, and this my SD card is 64 gigabytes. So. Okay, now here's going to be my, all of my pictures and videos and stuff. And there's one thing you can do in here. You can make this twin panel. But I don't know if you can, extra pane. I don't know if you can make that the default. I would if I could. So evidently you can, or else I just keep forgetting how to do it. I get systems all set up, use them for a few years, and then I'll have. With Fedora, they always recommended you reinstall and not upgrade because of compatibility issues with older applications. So I lose all my settings and everything. Fedora 28 might be able to upgrade, but it's time for it to, and it hasn't asked me if I want to. And there's some things that I'm always get install happy, and I built some install scripts, and I got some errors on boot, things that are trying to start up that can't, and it takes like a minute or two to boot the thing up now, and it used to be real fast, so I want to reinstall anyway. But anyway, that's another story. But get over here and get my little. I made a sticky note for it. I used to use sticky notes a lot, and anyway, they open up real quick. There's some advantages and disadvantages of it I found. Like if I want to take this and copy it and put it into some other kind of file, like say a text file, it won't really do it too well. So it's really great. See, all the links just work. Anything that was a link. It made the link, and I'm sure they'll work. You could click on it and go right to that directory and stuff. See, these are all local links. None of those are actually URLs, for the internet. They're all local on the machine, but they'll work. So anyway, let's get over here and let's see. This is the local. They're both on the remote right now, so I want to get on the local. Let's leave this the remote. And we'll go over here and get on the local side. Let's see. Actually forgot. Oh yeah, as long as you click on that side, it just doesn't work the way Crusader does, and that's what I've been using since 2005. So I have to think about it. Okay. And then it changes the size when you click somewhere. It does all kinds of weird things that just make my eyes flip in the back of my head, drive me nuts. Okay, now run. Media. You can type and find directory, so that's nice. My Seagate expansion drive, well, at least it gave me a little more reading ability. What I'd like is to have, I can set them and then they'd stay the way I set them, but they won't do that. See, like I can't even read the folder names. And that's for super wide. All you need, it says, I want the file extension. I don't care. I don't need a description of what kind of file it is. I just want the file extension in there, and I don't even think you can do that in this app. But anyway, I'm on phone 2. Right? So I've been keeping that open. Phone 2, yeah, okay. So I need to make sure I get in the right folders, and I'll show how to set that up on one of the other phones in a little bit. That connection. But phone 2, this is local. These are my local backups. Okay, DCIM, open camera. So now we're in open camera. Now I want to get over here, and there's a search. That's cool. See, I can find that file. There it is. Okay, so now that file's not there at all. It won't copy. It's 3.5 gigabytes in these other apps. So I thought, well, let's try this one and see what happens. So I'm just going to say, right click and say copy to other pane. And so it should start copying it. There you go. Now I have used this on and off over the years. Especially on like a system I just set up, or in a live, say I'm doing a live system, off of the CD or USB, and maybe trying to rescue something or whatever. And it says it's going to take 14 minutes. And so I've used it, and what I have noticed is that it used to be, recently it seems to have sped up and worked better. But it used to, two problems with it. Well, I never used this, really never used this much for copying files, is because it used to be really slow at writing and copying, and it would very typically do what my problem is. It would get up about a half to three-quarters of the way done and just fail, just lose the pipe. And, well, it didn't really matter. Let's see. It would do it when you're on one hard drive to another. You didn't even have to be on a remote connection. I thought I would see. I figured out yesterday that there's 4 of these files that are 3 gigabytes and bigger that are not copying it. Lucky Backup's it copies the name and it has 0 byte size. And that's weird. That's unlike Lucky Backup. It's usually really good and hardly misses anything. But there's something that seems to be different about when you do it. But I mostly always use it for one hard drive to another, backing up my system. I have done it a few times here and there over the years, over SSH tunnel. But that's not how I generally use it. And but I've got all those profiles set up and everything. Oh, and that just reminds me. Well, that's copying. I was going to go on and add another, connection. But let's yeah, now you can see that connection now that I've got it connected. I thought that they there we go, bookmarks. So it's in the bookmarks folder. I just didn't notice that. I forgot that's where they are. So see, these were defaulted in there by Fedora. But when you add these, see, you can just click on them we have to type in the password, but you can just click on them. These are 2 other machines. That might be a phone. I can't remember. No, I think that's my Acer laptop, my web server now. That, I believe, is my Red Black Battlestar. But anyway, and you can name it with the names of the machines or whatever, I just usually I've been real good at remembering the IP addresses, but sometimes lately my brain just goes off in the la land, and I don't remember, I don't know what any of that means. So there is another way you could do it before I forget. I think you could do it. So let's say I wanted to, well, let's don't go to so there's the backup drives, my 5, and the Seagate expansion is the 4.5 really, but 5 terabyte, and then the 8 terabyte. And 8 terabyte is just a mirror of the 5 terabyte. So, but you get all the way back to the root of the system, go to run, like I did a while ago, media, let's see if I can, I'm doing it wrong. So that is not where, what I was trying to do is get to that SFTP connection. What you used to do is go to home, and then there was a, what was the name of that folder? I don't know if you can do it anymore either. But anyway, if you can find where that, let's see, you might be able to find it. If you can find the address of that, see, it doesn't tell you the actual address. Close that search window. How do you close it? Leave it alone before I mess something up. It's copying right along, but what it did the last time I tried to copy it in Midnight Commander in a remote terminal, actually it wasn't, the terminal was on this machine, but I was connecting remotely to the phone, and it worked away until I got about 3/4 of the way and then failed. So I forgot about that one. Anyway, it's right here. Let's see, can you right click? Let's see if you can get the address that way. Yeah, some of them you can, okay, now there's part of it, but you can't, I don't think you can, well, maybe you can see it if you do that, okay. You might be able to copy that and then go, yeah, okay. Oh, it's in copy. Run media. Oh, this is not the one I want. Run media. Yeah, so that would be a way that I should be able to copy the address, the actual address. Yeah, okay, that goes back to the location bar. Ah, it doesn't work. Oh, the search is still there. I do not understand why that search is. Oh, I guess I need to go back. There we go. Now we can see it. It's the whole thing is showing up in there, just like I want. But it's not letting me do anything yet. Okay, right click, copy. Oh, SFTP done at. Oh, that ain't gonna work because Crusader doesn't support SFTP anymore. Now, what you used to could do when you mounted, what that's called is mount a connection to a server. When you do this in here, that's what that's called. When you mount one like that in here, then I used to just go to my home directory, GVFS. It was either GVFS or .gvfs. See, that folder's no longer there. I think it's still on the system somewhere, but I think I found it once, and it's hard to remember. And I don't remember where it is now, so I'm not going to keep looking. I don't think it would necessarily help me. I just thought I like Crusader better, and if I could and I have done that before when going kind of a backdoor way to get in is mount it like that with basically you're mounting it with it opens it up with KJ, but connect to a server and then go to I think it's .gvfs, but in the newer they changed it at some point in the last 3 years or so or more. Oh yeah, probably more than that because that Fedora 14 did that, and I would go, oh, and Fedora 14's Crusader will. I could turn on that other machine and do that, but I'd have to also plug in my hard drive, my USB backup drive into the Fedora 14 system, and it's noisy and makes a lot of heat. Oh yeah, the video card fan went out, so it has no display right now. You can boot it up and it'll be a web server, and then you can connect to it, but that's all you can do. I haven't fixed that yet. So, it has onboard video, and I'm plugged into it, but the driver is the wrong driver for it. So, but the video card's laying up here on my TRS-80, and I don't want to do all the messing around to fix that, and then have to go do it again for the video card. Okay, so that's copying away. We'll see if that works. It's more than halfway. It's not super slow. It's way faster than it used to be. I think it might be faster than when I was using Midnight Commander. I don't think it's faster. rsync, either is pretty fast. That's what Lucky Backup uses is rsync. It's pretty fast. It's really fast on the local, and pretty fast. Well, let's see. I was seeing the speed in it. It said it was like only 1.4 megabits a second, but it sure seemed to copy faster than that. But, okay, so let that keep working. I'll go ahead and show another one. Let's see. Let's do camera 3. And I just want to find IPs up there in the address bar, too. It doesn't show up down here at all, I don't think, whenever you see it's actually serving up audio. I'm not using it right now, but that's my lapel mic going through that camera. It's not actually a camera right now. It's but I named it Cam 3 because that's the way I always thought of them, is cameras, but they're phones. I could have said phone. But, just leave it like that. Okay. Uh-oh. I decided to check on it one more time. See, it got about 3/4 of the way through and then aired out. So there's no real, other than showing how you connect that. I might do that. I'll do that, but let me do a screenshot of that. I think I'll see if there's any. Yeah, unknown reason. Okay. So the file was being copied. So I, I'm starting to wonder. I hadn't thought about this until it hit me last night, I think. Let's go ahead and close this. I don't need it now. I'm starting to wonder. I just realized. Oh my gosh. Did I never get on my desktop this whole time? I was showing my camera view of myself just now. And thinking back, I guess I never did switch. Dadgummit. So I'm showing all this stuff and then nobody's seeing it. I guess that would be, well, I do have, once in a great while, somebody does come over there and say something, and then, they would darn sure tell me that, but nobody came on there, on the chat, But the problem is the laptop screen is too small, and I can just barely see the very edge of the chat. And I have to make sure that I can see my stream, that my video is working, and then check my audio. I can't. And most of the time, I completely forget to even look over there. But I have to page up and down on that laptop to see the chat. But sometimes, I guess you can see something that gives you an idea that there's a chat. So, dadgummit. All right. So, here's what I'll do then. I already copied and pasted this IP for phone 3. I'll set up a new connection. All this junk I was talking about but not not showing. So you go to Places, go to Connect to Server, and I'm going to go to that IP, and then now on, you could just do port 22 like that, but I need 2222 to be able to connect to SSH Droid. Oh, and what I was fixing to say when I interrupted myself, now I'm going to pick SSH. Those are the protocols that you can use, but you don't want to use FTP, even though it's SFTP that you're going to be doing. You pick SSH because you're connecting to an SSH server. You don't need to put in a folder, but you do need to put in username and the password. And you can tell it to remember it or not. I didn't yesterday. I didn't even think about it, but I'm not going to. That way, you can't connect. I don't want to make it too easy to connect. Because what if I go ahead and say add a bookmark? What if I and I'll put the name of the bookmark in there this time. What if I'm connecting and I don't realize it, and I use keyboard shortcuts a lot, and sometimes I actually accidentally get in another window and do something without even realizing it. And you might be I might be deleting a file, and so I might. And my mouse will sometimes rolls over to other workspaces. Let's see, connection refused by server. What happened to 2222? Try again. There we go. I don't know why the changed like that. See, it'll connect right up to it when you do that. Oh, I already had one of those set up. I had a shortcut for that. So I'll delete one of those. Whoops. Let's delete that one right now so that I won't have problems. Okay, so see, now it's connected to phone 3. And so this is the, it's not the, yeah, that is the root of the whole system. See, there's the root folder, which you can't get into because the phone's not rooted. Go back. And so you can't do anything unless you root the phone. I figured that out the other day because I did a remote shell and I did in my other videos the other day. Tried to set up pre-shared keys so I wouldn't have to even put in a password because I thought my Lucky Backup was working. I didn't realize there was. I went to double check backups and found out that I was missing some. Pretty much all my big videos, I guess. So going up and down like a madman here, looking for storage. You might be able to go to SD card. That's one of the SD cards. Let's see which one it is. Yeah, that's the one I want, but there's another way to get in there. It's kind of funny that there's different ways to get in there like that. These are shortcuts, so you can see right there by the icon that they are links. They're not actual folders. So, and storage, and then that'll let you pick which one you want to get into. And SD card O is my SD card, which is I said is my default storage. I was saying that a while ago, and that's the onboard storage. And then emulated will take you into, like, I guess if you have older apps, you can go in there that way. But you don't get to go see much. That's all you see. Android, data, movies. And that's that is onboard. I can see that. So I don't know what that's all about, really. I hadn't had smartphones long enough to know what it used to be like. Well, it's that. There you go. It's the SD card. That's all you can see on the SD card when you go that way. Well, it's not the SD card. It's the onboard storage, but it's labeled SD card. Now, it would be SD card O. O was always the, well, like it's the boot. It's kind of weird because in a regular Linux system, HDO or SDA would be the boot drive. But it's actually, well, and what I'm trying to say is I in the settings, I told the system to make the removable SD card, the 64 gigabyte SD card O basically is what I told it to do. So I told it to use it as the default storage. But there's still things that fill up that onboard storage, and I have to constantly clean it to keep the machine running, keep the phone running. So anyway, here's what I did. I went into my open camera folder, and then I went over here in view and made an extra pane, and then I got over here on this side and went to root of the file system on my machine here, and I went to run. You got to click in there, it won't work. Well, there's run right there. So run media. You can type to get to folders and use the keyboard. Got to be kind of careful in here though, because sometimes you'll mess things up, you know. It doesn't work for me because I'm used to Crusader. Works a little bit different than this file manager does. Okay, so now I'm in my backups, and here's phone 3, right? 181. Let's see. Yeah, 181 is phone 3. Now, all that stuff I was talking about before this, I would wish that you were seeing what I was talking about, but I can't do anything about it now. Okay, here's the folder I made that name so that I'd know for sure which one it was, you know. And then DCIM. Of course, this is my backup drive, so of course you make them whatever you want. That's what I made them. And okay, so I have to do this again. Oh, no, that sticky note that I was talking about earlier, where I had the information and the name of the file that I was trying to copy, that was what I was talking about with the sticky notes. That's on that other phone. Okay, so there's not that many files. Let's see, make sure. Yeah, there's not that many files. Actually, I'll just do one. It's not going to matter. No, let's do the videos. Well, let's do them all because I'm not sure. So I think you could just do folder to folder, but that's where I get in trouble with one of these kind of file managers too. So they don't always do what I expect them to do. So if you don't have too many files, just select all the files. Is not hard to do anyway. So, okay, we want to go from the phone, the SFTP connection, to the local backup drive. So then you right click and say copy to other pane. And now then, whoops. Okay, that's not what I wanted. You can only do skip or replace in here, in this window. I really thought it was going to give me the option to, sometimes it does give the option to say update. Maybe it only does that if it sees that, you know, the files on the destination or some that are smaller than the one on the one you're coming from. Of course, you could just do skip, but it's going to ask you again. So you click that little box and do the same thing to all folders. And I'm going to say skip because I definitely don't want to wait to rewrite those if they're not. Let's see what happens if we just do the videos. And we'll say copy to other pane. Same thing. It wants to jump around on me. Skip. Okay, now let's try this. Go back. And yeah, normally what I would, you know, what I want, all these folders is what I'd back up. That's what I had Lucky Backup set up to do. But what I'm just trying to make sure of is that my videos, before I delete the videos and pictures on there, make sure that they're actually there. So let's go to SD card 1. And there's usually very little data there. And I really miss the way things are laid out. You know, like over here, well, I usually use the keyboard to go through, but I was thinking those errors. I hardly ever use these errors. They're up there in the top left too. I guess it's because I can use the keyboard really quick in the. Let's see, let's see, if I go to the top, yeah, if you hit the left arrow button, it does nothing, so you have to use the arrows. Okay, so let's get to, I want to stay on phone. Oh, I see. I didn't make that its own folder. That's fine, but I just don't want to end up putting these inside of that folder, is the thing. It doesn't deselect when you do that. But let's try it with folders. We'll do one folder at a time. Let's see. Copy to other pane. Yeah, merge. Okay, when you're doing folders, you get the option to merge. So apply this to all files, merge. There we go. Now it says the same dialog. Okay, nothing happened there. I don't think there's anything in that folder. Just empty. Because I moved the, you know, told the other card to be the. That makes me worry that that's telling it to copy that over there. So I'm going to do that. I don't think it is, but those are the kind of problems I've had with this kind of file manager. Merge. Skip. Okay. I didn't expect there to be anything to do there, but that was just an example. Okay, so let me think. This is I think it will be fine for me to okay, we got out of phone 3. We want to be in the SD card. One of these phones I made a .ssh folder in. I can't remember which one I did it on the remote shell. Let's see. I didn't see the DCIM folder. Huh? Oh, this is my backup. Okay, getting myself turned around. So this is, yeah, 32 gigabyte SD card. I didn't remember there being so many folders in there. Okay, yeah, 32 gigabyte SD card. I think maybe I have double back things up there. Looks to me like. Okay, now on the SD card yeah, see how many fewer there's actually on the phone. I think I got myself turned around. I'm going to try doing them. Whoops. Oh, I was hitting caps lock. Okay. I was trying to hit shift. Copy to other pane. Okay, now we're going to say merge. If you don't do that step, then it won't go into those folders and check like it should. Okay, so evidently they're all the same. So, open camera. I am very worried about losing videos, so I'm going to do this one more time here. Wish there was just a sync button. It doesn't have a sync function. Okay. Also want to make sure I'm not just flat making mistakes, so I keep doing things over and over. And sometimes I catch that I was making a mistake. Skip. Okay, now on the phone here, that's the third time in the last 5 minutes I've done this, so now I'm just going to hit delete on the keyboard. Delete all. Just make sure I'm doing it on the phone. Okay, now I freed up space. The other thing is I want to, the only folder on the phone there is open camera. Oh, okay, so I don't have any of these other folders. See, like camera, there's some, that's from in the past, and then some other app. That folder is in all my phones, and it's always empty. I don't even know why. It might have, it's on some of the other phones. This one doesn't have it. It might have been some app that I uninstalled. But so this may work. Well, it won't. It's not going to work for my phone 2. Obviously, I think I'm going to have to break down and take the SD card out of the phone 2, put it in that USB adapter, and plug it into the machine to back it up that way. And I had Lucky Backup set up to do that, but I changed all that now. I don't know if I saved that, did a backup of that profile or not. I need to back up this new setup in case I ever want it again, although it looks like it's not going to be of much use to me. But let me think here. I think I'm fixing to be done with this one. We're on SD card O, so I already did the, yeah, I tried all of these folders, I think. That's empty now. Okay. Yeah, those are the only, unless there's not any, I'll look and make sure, but there shouldn't be any videos or anything, and it still worries me. Let's see. It still wants to select that folder. I guess it doesn't cause a problem, I don't think. Okay, copy to other pane. Merge. If you forget to do that right, you know, you're trying to do it fast, I forget. Okay, so yeah, there's nothing there. Okay, so let's see what's in SD card 1. I know I just got through doing that. Let's just make sure there's no, I'm not worried about that. I'm not going to, shouldn't be anything in that movies folder. Right. I don't think I have that Insta Lively app on there anymore, but I won't delete it in case, make sure. I guess that's what happens. I'm like, oh, I'm not sure if I have that app anymore, and then I don't want to go look right now. So, okay, so I can't go to network 181. Oh, I see. These are, I guess those are connections, and these are bookmarks up here. 181. What's 182? Ah, whatever it is, it's serving up. And I do not believe that's a phone. Oh, I think I said that a while ago. That's my ASRock. I need to write the name, what machine it is. I can't remember the IPs anymore. Oh, there it is. Can you organize those or something? I think you can drag them and drop them. There. That's a silly name on there. Let's see. 141 is, let's see. 181 is phone 3, I think. 181 is phone 3. I need to do it so I quit having trouble. I kind of like having the IPs at the beginning there. I don't know though. Probably be good. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, and then I think that's where I was. And then this one, yeah, it's still got the password. It'll keep the password as long as you're 181. Okay, let's see. I think that'll be 2 then, right? 141 is 2, phone 2. I'm all turned around, aren't I? 181 is phone 3. 141 is phone 2. I've already got it wrong. Now, okay, now that's phone 3. I am very out of it today. 141 is, okay, 141 is phone 2. 141, phone 2. Phone 3 is 181. Okay, and then that I'll have to name that later, but I think that's the Acer laptop, and that's the red black Battlestar. Okay, now phone 1. Let's just go ahead and hook up to it. I have not checked to see if there's videos that are missing, and it's. But I'll go ahead and close this. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Let's see if it looks like it would. Yeah, see, you have those shortcuts up there. Yeah, let's close it. Less likely to get confused. So places, connect to a server, 194. Yeah, 194. SSH. We want to add a bookmark before I forget. Okay, yes. I do trust the first time I've logged in since I built this system on there, so it's like, do you trust that machine? All right, now let's go ahead and make that. That's phone 1, right? Go ahead and rename that shortcut right now. That actually worked out in the right order, didn't it? One, two, three. There we go. Now, we'll go ahead and do our extra pane. See, when you open it up, it just keeps it in the same places that you already were in. So you got to go navigate to where you want to go. And we're on phone 1. Phone 1. That just so happens that helps me. It's my shortcuts to my cameras is what it's really for, but when I have them running. But to, zoom in and out and change the settings and stuff remotely to my phone cameras, not regular cameras. But works out pretty good. Okay, so storage. Let's do the SD card first. The onboard. I say SD card. It says SD. I read it. It says SD card. This is the onboard, is what it really is. Copy to. Oh, now see, this one has some other folders. I've got it in there twice. System storage, internal storage. There you go. And then what's this one? That's the actual root folders. Yeah. At some point, I did root one of these phones, but as soon as you rebooted it, the bootloader's protected, so SSH destroyed folders, and that used to be the default folders that you could only get to those until I figured out how to allow it to go where you wanted it. You set the folder you want to be the home folder, so I set the root of the whole thing. Yeah, the root of the whole thing is where you log into. It doesn't mean you can get into all the folders or do anything in all of them. Pay attention to what I'm doing. Internal storage. Okay. Yeah, Android. See, there's only a few on the machine on that phone now, but I've backed up with different programs before over the years, and copy to other pane. Apply to all, merge, skip. This I don't trust because it doesn't give you enough feedback and readout. No readouts to tell you what's going on. See, you don't know for sure what's happening here, so it worries me. Crusader, you know what's going on. You can actually sit there and, well, anyway, can't connect with Crusader anymore. So, SD card O. Okay, on this side, we want to get to the 64 gigabyte Strontium folder, and we'll just go ahead and try to do them all. Since I've backed these up with Lucky Backup several times, the only thing that might be missing is those if there's any big videos in there. Well, we'll just have to find out. Copy to other pane, merge, skip. Well, it seems that my other phone is the only one missing. Let's go into the DCIM folder again. Only one that it couldn't copy all of the files. And I don't believe it's a permission problem or anything like that, because you should get an error. You'd get an error in Lucky Backup saying file permissions. Well, now I've got it in. Open camera, open camera. I'll try it again. I really don't want to delete anything until I know that I'm not. See all those videos? I don't want to lose those. But I need to clear up space on the phones. Okay. Looked like it might have written. It looked to me like it wrote at least one file, a little blink there. Probably one of these JPEGs. I don't know, though. It could have just been just a guess. Well, I mean, it's kind of an educated guess, because when there's a small file, that's usually kind of see something like that, being copied in one of these kind of file managers. I'm still scared to delete those without some way to compare. See, like in Crusader, you can use the sync, and it will show them to you and show you the ones that match and the ones that don't. But I guess if I could find GVFS, if I could find GVFS folder, I'll leave that like it is for now. No, let's close it. That way I don't have any ability to screw things up. Check my audio, and what do I get? Myself coughing. Okay, so what would be the quickest way to find GVFS? Run. Not media, I don't think. Yeah. Mount. Oh, there's a mount folder. I see it. Nope. See on the root of they're still there, but they don't use them anymore in Fedora. You've got there it is, mount. That's where Linux used to always use either media or mount to mount all this stuff, and it was so much easier to find things. There was one thing that you run into headaches with, and that's those are you got to have root privileges to make folders or do this or do that, to do any changing in there. But that I mean, you just learn how to do that. But it didn't change the way the fold, like whatever kind of, it could be a CD or USB, it could be a remote folder. I don't know if, no, it didn't mount remotes in there. It mounted them in home GVFS or .GVFS. Let's see. That says root. That is not, well, it is root, but it makes you think it's the root user folder, but that is the root of the entire file system. There's the root user folder, but I can't go in there because I'm not. I can just, but in Crusader, see, I can click on that icon there, and I'll put in the root password, and then I can get in there and do anything I need to do. But let's see, I'll try it. Yeah, GVFS. See if it comes up. It might take a long time to search and find that. But if I can find that, I think I might be able to get into that remote phone, to the phone. Okay, here we got bar cache. No, that's not going to be it. But see, there's I might be able to get into that phone in Crusader and then use the sync to make sure I know. Run media down. Oh no, now it's searching my backup drive. So I would need to exclude those. It'll take all day. Oh, it's done, I think. No, it's not done. It's just taking a long time to look through these. There's some of my videos of my Blazer. That's when I noticed, uh-oh, those are backups. It's not even moving. It's not responding, so it's working it hard. Let's try to hit stop. That's the other danger of doing a really long search in Crusader or the search. This one here will search the drive, that search for applications. It can end up, especially while I'm making a video, it can be bad because, yeah, yesterday I had trouble with, I was trying to save the terminal output. Okay, it did stop. Trying to save the terminal output, I had opened up Crusader's terminal console, and it's got a real cool feature where you can save the output, and I had just done it the day before and it worked perfectly, but yesterday I did it and it hung up, and I remembered all of a sudden, that means that Crusader's fixing to start using up all my memory. So I force closed Crusader, and I tried to just close it and it didn't close, and I force closed Crusader, and I never noticed until I actually did a 4-hour video yesterday, and after, at the end of 4 hours, I went to shut the machine down, or reboot it actually, just to reboot it, and there it was. Oh, it had moved way like over here to this window, and it was hiding behind this. Somebody's knocking on my door. Yeah.
Do you know what happened to the drive?
No, is there something wrong with it?
It's making a bunch of noise.
Well, it's been doing that forever.
This is different.
Well, I'll look at it after a while then.
Okay.
The driver's making noise, but it's been making noise. I know what's wrong with it, but that's another job that needs to be done. Big job. It's been working, but it's making noise. It's really aggravating. It might have got louder, but it does that. It gets louder and quieter. So anyway, I won't go off into that. Dang it, now I forgot what the heck I was doing. Okay, leave that like it is. Oh, I was talking about that. Yeah, I was off into something already. Run. Okay, it's not in run. Root, bar, user, home. Let's see if it's in there and I didn't see it. We'll do a search for it in there. GVFS. It could have just been moved and it's still in there. Trying to think another way. I've tried every app I can think of to double check those files. I do know that I do know that, of course, Phone 2 is got at least 4 large video files, local share GVFS metadata that I think I'm going to have to just pull and break down and take the phone out of the tripod and all, or the mount that I have for it. And okay, let's see if that's it. Do a screenshot. There it is. So it's home don.local share GVFS metadata. I don't think that's going to be allowing me. No, yeah, that's not going to allow me to get into logs and all kinds of stuff. It is all the information about it, but it's not going to allow you to get in there and go to the. Yeah, it metadata. It's just basically like the history in the logs looks like. Okay, so it's not in the home directory anymore at all. Let's see, var, that's for web server, but bin srv. Let's see, yeah, var is where Fedora. That's where you put your web. That's where it's defaults for. You see www. I have HTTPD installed, but I didn't set up my web server on here. But there's some stuff in there. I don't know why I did that. A couple of songs and this and that. I think I was just fiddling with it or something. I installed it really by accident, but installing a bunch of group installs with my scripts I built. And then there's an FTP where you could, I don't have anything in there. But I turned it off. I'm not running HTTPD right now anyway. So, and that's where your mail is and stuff too. You can go in there and read your mail in a text file. It's kind of weird. Let's see. You can't read. Yeah, you can read the system mail, not that's sent within the system, not what would be. I use Thunderbird email client. You wouldn't see that mail in there, but that would be in home done. Dot Mozilla or dot Mozilla Thunderbird. So user home already went into serve bin. Yeah, there's no GVS FS server in there. Share. There's a GPFS folder. Okay, let's see. I'm going to do a screenshot of that because that might be what I've been looking for. Yeah. Remote volume monitors, mounts. Okay, well, let's just go into both of them and see. Okay, UDisks, that is not something you can go to. Okay, no, you can't go to those either. So let's do a screenshot of those. It may be that you can't do it anymore. That's the one thing about Linux. I've never really needed to bother to learn the file system as intimately as I did in Windows. I always had to. It is, well, the thing is every Linux distro and every version may be a little bit different because the developers do it which way they want. There's jillions of developers. Each, like Red Hat has theirs. They make Fedora and then Debian and then whatever else you might use. Each one makes decisions the way they want to do it and the way they think it works the best. And yeah, you could try to hit that, hit enter on that and see what happens, but you might lock a bunch of stuff up too. So I'm not going to do that. I don't think that's what I'm looking for, because what it used to do is you'd go into the GVFS folder and you would see, the name of whatever server you had mounted, and so yeah, I don't know. I'm going around and around. I could just use. That's a pretty quick search, actually. Let's go to downloads again. That's a pretty quick search. right here, but um, I'm thinking I should just go ahead and do what I need to be doing, and that's backing up my camera too. I don't have the camera running on it or anything right now, so I can shut it down and take it out of there and do all that stuff. So I think I'll even close that for now. Okay. Now, what I'll do, dangerous move here, but I'm gonna get get on the camera and remind me now. Somebody remind me there ain't nobody but me here. To get back on the desktop when I need to. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'll get back on the desktop when I need to. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'll just get on the lapel mic. Okay, we still got sound. Okay, I'm gonna get this phone. And I had the mic stand that it's on right over here, right over there where I can reach it real easy. So here it is, and this is why I do not want to have to take the SD cards out to do the backup. That's why I have been going around and around for 3 days now, I guess, trying to. I've always thought that for years I've been thinking I need to set that up and do it. You know, I used to do it over SFTP with FileZilla, and then I started. Actually, I didn't do it very often, and I think every time I ran into this same problem, and I kept forgetting. But see, all these, it's not the hardest thing in the world. It's just a pain. But I think I'm going to have to do it. So let's see. Oh, I don't know how many times I've started to say it. Let's see. I decided to go to sleep. Okay, let's get. Can I get up here? I think I can reach it. If I can manage to. I don't know if I can see things good enough to do this, but oh, it's the other way. Oops. Which way? Okay, that's the top. Okay, so I want the top. I guess I just missed it. Okay, SSH droid. There it is. Let's see, which way does it gotta go? This way. That is the little app I'll keep talking about, and that's serving up the SSH server. Okay, this app, I like it. I didn't know what I was missing until I was doing some research on how to do. Well, actually, I was doing research on how to do remote shell connection and looking for commands and stuff, and I ran into another open source app that won't run on my phones because they run Android 4.3, and of course they're old now, and the manufacturer's not giving out any more ROMs for them. So I'd have to do a custom ROM and all that stuff, and I've always thought I'd do it, but I haven't ever got around to it. But this is one of those typical things on Android. What makes me hate Android? It's Linux, but it's not, because it's freeware, shareware type of crap. You know, like in Windows. That's one reason why I got away from one of the main reasons I got away from Windows was because of all that, the headache of that, and the malware. The biggest reason, malware, you know, viruses and all that. But and of course you got a big problem with that in Android too. But I actually haven't had any trouble. I immediately put Malwarebytes and Avast antivirus on my phones, and I've never been hit. But I also don't do much with them. I don't really. I use them for phones. I use them for cameras, and cameras and wireless mic. Phone 3 is my wireless mic, and 1 and 2 is my cameras. So anyway, it is easy to use, and the only problem is, well, like using. I know for sure it says in the app you can't do remote. Let me see if I can get this open up to where I can maybe show it. Went to sleep again. That battery's not going down, is it? No, it's on 100%. It must have. They always change themselves and don't. I'm trying to get into the options section here. I don't know if I can show this. That's it's really hard to. You can't read the entire screens or touch the right places sometimes, you know. But I've got it set on auto start service, enable screen lock, and require an Wi-Fi connection. Of course, you couldn't use it without that. I don't know if there's any more. Yeah, back down there. Lock Wi-Fi. That's supposed to keep it from going. The screen lock and the lock Wi-Fi is supposed to keep it from going to sleep and breaking your copy. So I don't think that's the problem. It does have that feature. The Wi-Fi auto start. I always have my Wi-Fi on. Whoops, I just clicked on something. Require Wi-Fi. There we go. Got it back on. That's I hate touch screens. Okay. Okay. I don't know where that is, where it tells you there's the port, and I believe you can change the port. Let's see. Thought you could, maybe you can't. Yeah, you can change the port. Now I gotta get out of that because I'm not wanting to do that right now. Now I don't want to go out of it. All right, so what did it do? What does that say? No. Yeah. Thanks for interrupting my work. Yes, I love your app because you interrupt my work. Okay. I'm just trying to page up and down. Now, login banner, enable or disable login message. That's actually okay, I think. I guess I should have moved I'm stretched way up, far away, and in an awkward position. I just can't really do this. I wouldn't be grappling if I wasn't trying to do it in a stupid way. Let's see if I can get this thing, down. Oh, I forgot that was the camera showing. I just knocked all of my, this endoscope. You see this big old burly, that's a really stiff cable too. That big old cable is, it hit the, that's why I usually don't do it. I usually get my work table and bring it over here because there's just not enough room on my, see, I think I've done it before though. Yeah, here we go. See if I can do that. Anyway, it knocked things down. I can't even think to say what I'm trying to say. Okay, this cable's got to get out of my way here. All right, let's get back on that endoscope and maybe it can actually help me. Come on. Which way's the which on this thing? There we go now. It might be better if I did it this way. I know it's going to be, so I'm moving my keyboard so that I can get to this and do things. Now, did it finally go? Yeah, now it's going to be upside down. So, I was trying to have the phone right side up to me. Let's see what that does. Which way is right side up to you? There we go. Yeah. Maybe this will work. Okay. So, I don't even know what I messed up. I forgot. I don't know where I was now. And I really don't remember every setting in here. But I clicked on something by accident. This is actually helping me because I can't read the screen without a magnifying glass. So this is okay. support the application, links, user shell. Yeah, there just doesn't seem to be a verbose log. I don't know if I had that on or not. I'll leave it in case it might help me figure things out. I still have not said the thing. Maybe a verbose log would tell me. It is a limited functionality in the free version, um, and it does not support RSA pre-shared keys. And I thought I could do it by just setting them up myself, but I have to be root to phones to do that. I can't work in the, I can't work in the root directory and make the files and folders. And the number one thing, I can't do it anyway because the program, when I tried to run the commands, I went ahead and made a folder somewhere where I could write files on one of these phones remotely with the remote shell. And as soon as I ran the commands, it said that so-and-so program not found, the one that it was going to make the RSA keys. So it's too much, I mean, I'm sure somebody has done it, but too much for me to mess with. So the paid version will do that for you. That's what I was trying to say. So so also that got me thinking, okay, maybe these big files aren't copying because it's not the pro version, and it just never saw that in the, the stuff that it told you would get if you got the pro version was just a few things they thought people would want. So login banner, enable or disable login message. Yeah, I don't know about that. I guess login message. I'm gonna leave it. See me just trying to page up and down. I'm not sure what I've changed. I tried to put things back at the instant. I've realized enable password. Of course, I made my own password. Don't use the default on something like this. And the ports, you can change them. Zero config is enabled, which I think is good. It should be. Enable root privileges if available. Well, this phone's not rooted, so that wouldn't work. Enable or disable the application icon. Well, that's fine. I think that just shows up, on the screen. Wi-Fi auto start. I mean, that might start the Wi-Fi automatically when the Wi-Fi connection is established. What? Starts Wi-Fi auto start. Starts automatically if the application when the Wi-Fi connection is established. So no, I don't want it running automatically. You never want this. Some people could mess up your phone. They could figure out how to log in there. See, if you carried your phone around, like, well, I don't carry them around, but once in a while, if I go somewhere, I'll carry one with me just to have a pocket PC. I don't have phone service on any of them, but just to have a pocket PC, I'll carry them with me. And there's the lock Wi-Fi. So yeah, I don't have this thing auto starting for any reason. Just start it when I want to use the SSH server. Require, it's moving because I have one leg sitting on my belly. Sorry. Two on the keyboard tray and one on me. See, require Wi-Fi, so yes, it wouldn't work for me without Wi-Fi. Okay. And yeah, enable lock screen. That's to keep the screen active while the application is running. Now the screen still goes to sleep, but evidently what it means is, I read on their page, their Google page. Anyway, those two things you want, those lock screen and lock Wi-Fi so that it won't go to sleep and quit copying, break your copying of your files. Boot auto starts automatically at application boot. No, you wouldn't want that. And then auto start service automatically. Start service automatically when the application is launched. Now that's really handy because you just click on the icon and it logs in. I mean, it starts serving, and then you can go log into it without having to click buttons and do this and click all the different things you want it to do. So I think I'm okay. I think I got it back to normal. So that's what it looks like when you open it up. It tells you the IP address and I'm scared to move my rubber band. I'm scared I'll mess things up. It tells you the router, your IP address, You notice it says root, but I don't see that in there. But like I said, I used to be able to log in with root or Dawn, either one, and the only difference I could see is I could go into some root folders, but I couldn't do anything in them. Root owned folders, you know. But let's see, did I try it yesterday? Well, I just remember that all of a sudden a few months ago I couldn't log in as root. I could only log in as Dawn. So, and I must have put that user Dawn in there somewhere because I don't see it. You know, my phone. I guess the user on your phone would be your Gmail address. You know, being an Android phone. So, oh, there's a log. This is phone 2. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't logging before, so there's no logs in there. Okay, so now I'm going to be logging. So maybe it would tell me something about what's going wrong with that log turned on if I try copying those again, those big files. But right now I'm not going to do that. Right now, I'm going to turn this thing off and get it out of this rig and take that SD card out. Did I hit power off? Make sure I don't. Half the time I hit restart and it drives me crazy. Oh, good. Okay. So. Okay, so it's off, and let me set this. Ow! Hit my elbow on my desk. I was trying to set this up out of the way. That magazine that fell. I had magazines over my Acer laptop sitting up there. It's my web server now, but the screen's broke, so half of it is just white, and it's really, really bright, especially at night. Drives me crazy, so I just stuck some magazines up there to cover it up. Yeah, I hope that dryer hasn't gotten worse and to where it's not going to work. That will have to be fixed. That gets used every day by somebody. I use it once a week or a week and a half, but others in the family use it all the time. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, my little rig here is, let's see. It's not too bad, really. I'll tell you what it is. this, that's like I can hold it. I figured that out after a couple of different ways of doing this. That's pretty handy if I want to, because you know when you try to hold your phone like that, I always drop it, and it's harder to, we'll see the screen and see where you're aiming it. So this way I can aim it. I don't use it very often because I'm not good at holding these light. These phones are so light and easy to move around. I throw them around and I do terrible video. I used to run camera quite a bit, video camera, and I was pretty good at it with a real camera, but I'm not good with phones. So anyway, that's actually a big old paper clip. See that? It's too stiff to, it'll bend to break it off, but that right there is where it would open up and clip. It's a giant one. I ordered some big ones. I wanted some bigger ones years ago, and I didn't know I was getting something that big. And you can kind of see how big the hole is in there. And so I had no use for them until now, so they make perfect phone mounts for your, and, and I just put this stick was it was on my clothes. I don't have it in here anymore because the legs broke, but it was one that had actually split and was falling off my clothes tree. You know, hang your clothes on it, you know. It would go like that on the, you know, so anyway, I found a screw that was long enough and went down in there. I think I even glued up the split. Anyway, these rubber bands hold it in there. And that's all you got to do now to slide it out. And putting it back, it's kind of tedious and aggravating. That's why I don't like doing it. Sorry, I'm on the lapel now, so you get the full brunt of that. Okay, tools are handy. So I guess I'll get my, forgot how I did it now. Like this. I don't know if I can do it under there or not. I'm trying to avoid. I could turn this camera down, but I'm trying to avoid doing that because then I have to move it up back and forth. But anyway, you can really see what I'm doing like this anyway. So I'm gonna get it up. This is the whole thing I was trying to avoid. I can't really. I need to pay attention and not hit that volume knob, and I might have been going at it right there. Volume knob, and I always try to pay attention and stay away from it. I think it wasn't coming open like it usually comes open real easy. I think I was hitting it. So that's because I've got this whole tripod in my way. I can't see what I'm doing. So I should have done what I was thinking a while ago. What did I knock off now? That. Okay. I guess I should quit throwing. I'm moving around so much, my pillow's driving me nuts. Okay. This is really not that hard to adjust. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so. Yeah, that's all I was trying to do. Yeah, now that I can see what I'm doing, not too hard. You got to be careful. There's a couple places, like I said, these are not the easiest. I don't know. These are the only phones I've ever had, so I don't know what's normal, but they're not the easiest, but I don't think they're the hardest either to get. Ooh, you got to be careful with that too. The well, that battery. This is the battery that swelled really bad, and it's kind of swelled up quite a bit again. I'll just leave that thing up there where it was. I had it all nice where you wasn't showing everything. I don't know what I did. Oh, here we go. Yeah, because that makes it better to sit there and do all that to try to make it look nice. Okay. I've been, of course, well, it hasn't been plugged in though for, and now that I did that, you can't see the phone's too, well, I didn't want to take the battery out. Well, it's not running, so it won't hurt. So I'll take the battery out and I'll show you. I got real scared of that. It was swelled up way more than that. But the bag in there, see, the batteries are actually in a bag. And you don't want to puncture that bag because that could make the battery catch on fire. But they're swelling because they're sealed and they're out because it's outgassing. If I remember right, I can't seem to get it. Right now it's swelled that much. So you don't want to puncture them and try to let them down or anything. And it probably won't last a whole lot longer, but I let it set for a month and I was scared to use it. But I had done a bunch of research, but I finally decided that it would be safe. But I did want to. I let it sit for about a month and it went back down. So then I decided it'd be safe. And it actually holds a charge longer than the other ones, and the other ones weren't really. This was a few months ago. The other ones weren't really swelling that I noticed, or not. Well, I think one of them was a little bit. But now they all three are. But anyway. Let's see what happens if I do that. Yeah, you can see the battery pretty good there. Let's move that somewhere to where it won't be in the way. Okay, so mine Just you know, there's where my SD card goes, and there's the SIM card that I have never activated on any of them. So, the reason I'm showing this is just to show what I'm talking about when I'm doing this stuff. I've got this little SD card to USB adapter. I had two of them, and one of them already quit working. I was trying to see if I could show the name of it. It came with my, I can't hold on to anything, especially way up there. There we go. Well, it's I think it says strontium on there. That's the brand of the SD cards it came with. But the other one quit working altogether, but it wasn't broke. And this one decided it wanted to break. So I'm going to use it, but be careful that if I plug it in upside down, I think it'll let me, and then it might short out either this or even worse, my USB circuits on my computer. So I haven't been using it since I noticed it was doing that. Because it's split down the side and it'll spread open. Anyway, just put them in there like that, and it works just like a USB stick when you do that. That's pretty cool. I didn't even know those existed. They just came with my Strontium SD cards. And this is the Strontium SD card. It stays in there good. Now, I had been using a 32 gigabyte Wintec, and it's a little smaller, and it would always want to fall out. So if you see when I showed it with the tape wall, I have usually put tape around it to hold it. Just a big piece of clear, thick packing tape to hold it in there. Then I can just open and close that tape. But this one stays in there pretty good, so I won't do that right now. That SD card is actually in my server, my HP server that I bought, that I haven't got to play with because everything else has gotten in my way. But put this in the machine. Let's go ahead and redo this camera now. Well, we'll wait until I may need to move it a little bit, didn't it? There. That's still too. Don't need to see the microphone that much and everything. Okay, so go ahead and get on the desktop. Put this in the machine and let it mount up. See, I'm always doing it by feel. That's why I'm worried, because I can't see. And sometimes I don't realize I have them upside down. And try to put them on there. My stream's way behind, so I was like, what? So, but I guess you're seeing where it shows, do you want to open it up with Crusader? And yep, that is exactly what I want to do. So that's what I'll do. I guess I must have set that as the default. Put this battery up here. That's the rest of it. Okay, open it up in Crusader. I can at least move away from the mic if I have to cough. I guess I better get me a cough drop. I'm starting to really drain all of a sudden and cough. Can't get the cough drop out of there, stuck. Oh, great. Had so much trouble getting it out that it normally I don't have to touch them with my fingers, and I don't get sticky on my fingers. Well, I did this time. And get some water on my paper towel here out of my drinking cup and get my fingers cleaned up. Excuse me. kind of the worst kind of problem to have when you're talking on a video or radio or whatever. I had a friend that was a DJ, and I used to go help him. But having coughs and drainage and all that's the worst. One thing you really don't want, and that's what I've got bad. But it's either live with it or don't do anything. Much of anything at all. Okay, so now we have it opened up, and on the left side I'll go ahead and open up my backup drive. This is phone 2, right? Strontium 64 gigabyte card. And let's see. Well, let's just do the whole. No, let's check and see if those videos. Supposedly, those videos weren't. Oh, these are the ones where there's some missing. Well, let's do like I was talking about. One's going by the date, and one's going by the newest. Make them both by the newest. I think those videos. No, let's go by not the date. Let's go by the file name. No, it won't show what I write when I write it. Okay, now I'm going to hit the synchronize. And it's already, well, no, it's not. Usually I've been using right to left. Okay, right to left. So do the subfolders. And that's how I want it, just like that. Compare. Now it'll show you if there's any files. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. I thought there was 4. And they're 2 gigabyte, 3 gigabyte, 2. That one's 2. Looks like about 2.5, and that one's around a little over 2.5, and then that's a little over 3 gigabytes. Is there another one hiding in there somewhere? So, what I'm thinking is I might as well synchronize all of the folders at one time. I just wanted to see what it is I'm going to be doing. Yeah, and I see that's the, when you mount an SD card, it automatically, I think it gets that number off the SD card metadata or something. Or whatever you call it, the information that's on it, but identification information. So, really not sure what's the best way to. For some reason, I think that oh yeah, that way the stuff that's the newest will be on top, and I'll see it right away. Okay, now I want to synchronize right to left. You can compare by content to make sure that it really is different, but that usually takes so long, and then it uses so much system resources doing a bunch of files that I never use it. Yeah, Crusader on their website for years have said, well, we're just not really working on this sync function. We kind of want to phase it out years ago. I guess. But they haven't phased it out. It's still there. But I like it. But they recommend, I guess they recommend, I don't remember what they recommended, but I have learned, at least when you're doing from one hard drive to another, rsync, lucky backup using rsync is what I use, because I'm not going to do it in the command line. rsync is a command line app, but is more accurate and gets you right. Get everything right. I can't think to go into the details, but anyway, compare. Now this will take a bit longer because there's a bunch more files, even though all the rest of them are pretty small, but it didn't take that long, did it? But so this way I'll get. Now here's, look, a whole bunch of JPEGs from where. Bunch of pictures. Those are probably those screenshots I've been making, I'm going to bet. And they're color coded, so you see them in cache files and stuff. Some of that doesn't mean anything to me, but I just go ahead and get all the folders. Android Secure. I didn't think you. Oh yeah, I can copy it now because it's now I have. Now that I mounted it in my machine, see now it's it gave the user privileges, file permissions. I mean, as Dawn. It's mounted, in the user Dawn. So you just see there's a bunch of videos in there that need to be deleted. They're taking up space. It's actually not that much space. I looked at it the other day. 64 gigabyte files, and I think there's 59 gig free space. But I have filled those things up before when I used to make lots of videos right on the phone. I swear there was 4 in there, but I only see 3. Maybe there's one that's, well, no. Yeah, if there's one that's like a different size or something, it'll show up in green. Could be there and I just don't see it. It could be in a different, like if I ordered it differently in mine. But that's fine. At least I can trust that this should be right. And I'll probably try it again within the folders or whatever to make sure. But start right to left. Make sure you're going the right directions. Confirm overwrites. And now it'll say, do you want to see this one's 4.1 megabytes source, and see you're going right to left, but then it does your normal left to right reading. So source is bigger than the destination. So I'm going to say I'm going to overwrite everything that's different like that. Now this will take a good while because we've got a I guess about a 2.25 gigabyte file, and then about a close to a 3.25, and then 2.75 gigabyte file, and I really think there's another one around 3 gigabytes in there somewhere. Well, as a matter of fact, the one that I have the name of, I see that it's not right there. I just happened to leave it sitting there so I could see those. And that one that I kept trying to copy manually, I hope it didn't get broken and deleted somehow or something with that other app. Oh, that would be bad. I don't, that file manager, Kaja. I need to go look for that file. Make sure it's there. Let me go get this. Oh, that follows me. Wonderful. I want that to stay over there. It didn't used to do that. It used to stay in the window that you were in. Matter of fact, the whole application seemed to follow me. What in the world? It's moving around where I go. Didn't do it that time. Well, if it stays over there, I'll be happy. Oh, now that followed me. That I don't want to accidentally pause or close that and break my copies. So that's one reason why I love working in different workspaces. Oh, now it came back over here. That's just something that just started happening. I wonder if you could change the settings in Crusader to make it quit that. You didn't used to have to. It just didn't do that, Oh, that's something funny too, because when you just copy a file, it doesn't do this little window anymore. It just does that up there, which bugs me because I'm used to these little windows. But going pretty fast. But that's just SD card to hard drive, so that should be pretty fast. Maybe it won't be such a big deal after all. But I wanted to get this open. And open this up, and that file name of the one that I just tried to do all by itself, this is just the one that I happened to catch, and I copied the readout, copied and pasted all the error readout from Lucky Backup in there. To me, it was just kind of an example file, Let's see, what application do I want to use? I don't think I'll open another instance of Lucky Crusader because even though it's my favorite, doing this, it works a machine pretty good. Let's see if it shows up. OBS is the only thing really doing anything. Well, mount. That's part of the mount NTFS. That's what. That's really okay. That's the process. See, it's using 4% of the total CPU of the machine, is what I gather that means. All 4 cores. I think. But anyway, that's what happens when you're writing to, that's indicating how much work it's doing to write to that NTFS drive, because that 5 terabyte USB is an NTFS. NTFS, it used to hardly work at all, and it used to be horribly slow to write from a Linux system to NTFS. You used to have to install a bunch of programs manually to even get it to work, but it's been years now since you had to do that. But just in the last 2 or 3 years that I remember, it started working much better, but it still works your system hard. So, yeah, I knew it when DNF was running. DNF was checking for updates. That uses a lot of resources too. I'm glad that's done. I'm worried about it because I'm making a video and I don't want to mess it up. But anyway, well, Lucky Backup is a great program, but it doesn't show. And we're oddly thinking it doesn't even show to be using a bunch of that. Just for a simple little backup copying files, you wouldn't think it would use 5% of your CPU like that. But Lucky Backup usually, let's see, I can't remember now. I think it does show that once in a while, but not all the time, like it does when you do it in Crusader. But the system will barely run the whole time it's backing up. And I just now realized, seeing that I bet part of the big part of the problem is because of that first drive. Okay, it backs up to the NTFS, and then it backs up from the NTFS to the ext4 8 terabyte, because I reformatted it. I should have reformatted that other one. I just plugged it in and it worked good and it seemed to write fast. So I thought, well, let's don't risk having trouble, So I just left it. And then I did have trouble. The file system broke about 4 times, I think, 3 or 4. Had to fix it and had to go plug it into a Windows machine and run fixed disk on it stuff. I can't remember which programs it was, but yeah, and that just really bugs the living. That's just like it disappeared. So I hope it didn't crash. No, it didn't crash or anything. Oh, now it's over here hiding with Crusader never used to do anything like that. It's like it's because of this window being up, the whole program is following me around to my different desktops. Now it's back over here, or at least part of it is. Only that part. Oh, looky there. I clicked on that. Now it all came over here. Now it's all over there. When I move to another desktop, it's just throwing me in a tizzy here. I wanted to open up something to search. It's almost done now. I was going to open up, but I'm not going to do it right now. With this thing, I'm scared that if I do start clicking around and opening other programs and like navigating through it, I'm afraid this will pop up. What happens is these little windows like this sometimes will, especially when they want to follow you like that, they'll pop up and then you'll accidentally do something to that window that you don't mean to when you're typing and using the keyboard to navigate. I'm going to sit here and painfully wait because it's not that long, but it's bugging me. Then I'll go looking for that other file. I was going to go look while this is doing it, but every time I switch over to another window to try to do it, and no, I don't want to do it in the same window, that'd be the same problem, I could just open one of these up. Like I was thinking I would open up the regular file manager and search in it, just because I didn't want. I was trying to say I could open up another instance of Crusader, but that it uses a lot of resources, especially while it's being copied like that. Doing a sync job. If you have a lot of files, it can. I've seen it. I've had it locked up on my computer and not finish. So I guess it's lucky that SD cards do have fast read and write speeds, so I think that's one reason why this is going pretty well. Of course, it is on a USB adapter, so I guess it's limited by the speed of USB 2.0 because I don't have 3 on this machine. Doesn't have that. And, well, the device is a 2.0 device anyway, or 2.1 or 2.2 or whatever it is, but I'm sure it's one of the later versions because it's not that old of a device. But it is old enough to not have 3. There we go. Wasn't so bad after all. Okay, and so while I'm here, get into that folder and I'll search for that file that I wanted to see if it had it. Yeah, it's there. Okay. If I double click on it, it should try. No, it didn't take me to it. Sometimes it will and sometimes it won't. Let's see if it highlighted it. No, I don't see it. That really is a pain. It used to take you to it and highlight it and you could find it. Let's see if I can find it in the... With my eyes, they're not very good at that. Let's see. 192312. Should do it that way, I guess. Let's see if I can find it. I kind of remember that it would... When I found it one time manually like this, it was... There, I think that's it. 3.3 gigabyte, 192312. Let's go into the DCIM open camera folder. There it is right there. But it's 192312. It's only 2 gigabytes. And it's 3.3 over here. So that was the last time I tried to copy it. Now, why didn't it go ahead and overwrite that? 2019 0215, 2019 0215, 192312. Okay. Puts it up closer to the top. I'm gonna get off of it over here. Got to be careful in twin file managers. You can delete the wrong file easily. That is one thing you got to watch out. 192312. 192312. Okay, that's 2 gigabytes. I'm going to just delete it and copy that other one over. Okay. Now, it's actually quicker to just do a straight copy than it is to use the sync. I started to say I'll use sync, but 192312. Okay. This is a really strange problem. This is not something I run into all the time. Now, see, now it's just going to be up there. And at first, when they changed, when I first started using a newer version of Crusader that was like that, I was like, "Where's the dialogue? What the heck? What's going on?" When that search is still open. But I think I'm going to hit sync again and change those settings and see. We'll compare by content's all I know to do. But I don't remember Crusader ever doing that. Usually, if the sizes were different, it saw it right away and said, "Hey, do you want to overwrite this? You know, the sizes are different." Just like at the beginning there. But why didn't it overwrite that one? There is something really strange with the way every program handles these MP4 videos that I've never seen before. I've copied and backed up thousands of MP4 videos or videos in general, whatever format they might be, if MP4, FLV, WebM, whatever, But this, it's not too slow from one drive to another. Not super fast, I don't think, but of course, used to years ago, a 3.3 gigabyte file would probably take 30 minutes to an hour, what I remember. Well, like I said, when you going to an NTFS drive for sure. But I'm trying to think. Okay, yeah. Once this gets done, then I will hit that sync again. And now it makes me worry now that, let's see. I was checking though. I've already deleted some, but I was checking those other, over the SSH tunnel. I was checking using KJ, and I did on one of those phones. I trusted what it showed me that said that they were synced, and went ahead and deleted some. This one I knew I was having trouble, so I didn't. I made these videos the other last week or week before when I was working on the refrigerator and got me a new air compressor, and I was making videos of that, setting it up and putting it together. That's what they are. And I made them on the phones because I was out in the garage and in the kitchen, and my streaming, that I'm doing right now. When as soon as you can go to the kitchen door, you're fine. You go out the kitchen door, go in the garage, and then you start dropping frames really bad, and so you just can't do it out there. So that's why I was using the phones like that. Now I have two problems: the sound is never good, and there's more than two problems. The sound is never good. You have to do all this. You've got to. Normally, these particular videos, these four videos. Yeah, I said there was. I thought there was four. There is. There's those three that just copied, and then there's four. For some reason they did not get uploaded to Google Photos. Usually, I let the phone upload them to Google Photos, and then I copy them from there to YouTube. And but that's also how come since I can't do that, I end up getting behind on backing them up to my hard drive. So, because I have to. What I've always been doing is taking these SD cards out and putting them in the adapter and backing them up like I'm doing right now. But as hindsight's always 2020, I could have been done in a few hours instead of a few days. But I've been wanting to try and set those up for several years now, thinking that it should work once I got it set up. Okay. Ignore date, asymmetric, ignore case, recurse folders. I'm going to say compare by content and see if this may be too many files, or it may take forever. We'll see. Okay, yeah, video, but there's doing a video file. See, that's how long it's going to take. I don't even know how big that video is, so. But that's how long it's going to take for every file. But I think it's going to be worth it this time, because I've got some problems. It's skipping. It was skipping 4 important videos, and they're all important to me. Just one way or another. I want to keep them even if they're not something I want to upload. But yeah, that's going to take a while. But on those videos, I'm doing that. Of course, it's everything in those folders. But see how? Yeah, it's not overworking the machine or anything. It's actually not. When it says disk sleep, though, if it stays like that, sometimes that'll overwork this system. You can sometimes it'll get in trouble when it stays like that for a long time. You just sit there. If it just sits there and the Crusader says disk sleep, or the process mount NTFS, which I know is part of this process, if it sits there like that, then it could end up. What'll happen is it'll end up using up all the RAM when something goes wrong. There's evidently there are some. I guess from what I've learned, you'd call it memory leaks in Crusader in certain processes, and it will end up just gobbling up all your memory. So that's why I always that and the CPU usage. I always keep this open, this system monitor, so I can see what's going on. And if if my system starts slowing down, and I'm like, what the heck? I'll go over here and look, and I can see which process is doing it and kill it before it locks my system up. And of course, if you're in the middle of a file copy, you're going to lose that file copy. But usually it turns, usually is stop you from losing other things, that might be going on. So at least. So then you can, then if it does get like that to where all the memory's getting used up, and I've got 4 gig of memory, so if it starts climbing and it gets up to 2.5 or 3 or over 3 gig of memory before us, usually it is 2.5 to 3.5 gig before I get it, realize it, and because usually it's just that, oh, what's wrong with my mouse, and get it stopped, and so then I'll reboot because the system's never going to run good again until you do. And that's kind of odd because it's really a new problem to me. Fedora or Debian never really did that, the older versions, on older, slower machines, dual cores and stuff. I don't know if it's the machine or the newer versions of Fedora or somehow more resource hungry or what. Let's see. Yeah, it's still working. At least it tells you what's going on. It tells you what file it's comparing and what percentage. So, oh, it's not jumping around and following me now. That's good. So I can go off and do something else. This is obviously going to take a while, so I'm not going to just sit there and, watch it for the rest of the video. Make a long, just keep on watching it. But this is what I'm gonna do this on everything that I consider important. My videos and pictures, and all those pictures may be important too. I don't know what they are right now, but I think I'll do this on. I didn't want to, but I may. Well, I can't remember. Go into SFTP again and compare. Let's see. I think I used Midnight Commander yesterday. So sitting here thinking Midnight Commander might be easier to navigate than KJ. Well, but they're right there already ready to go. Those two are already mounted. Let's see. I've already forgot which phone is which though. So I'll have to open up the browser. Yeah, see, it's taking a bit when you switch. That means his machine's gone. Maybe I can't open any more programs. That's a bad sign. Sometimes you won't see it in the system resources, but when it starts doing that, that means Crusader's beginning to overwork the system. You see, there's no indication of it. Sometimes, most of the time there is, but sometimes there's not. And like I was saying, there's one clue I've figured out. Even if you don't see large CPU usage or large memory usage, if it keeps saying disk sleep, and especially if it gets there and it's coming up and going down, that's usually okay. But if it goes disk sleep and stays there, and your system's starting to act up, then you better kill that process, or your system will completely lock up, and you'll be using the power button to shut it down. And of course, I don't want any of that to happen while I'm making a video, because it will break my video. And even though it will still work, it's actually several of these videos may be broken because that one. Let's see, which phone is this? This is phone 2. It's not the one that phone 1 kept rebooting on me the other day when I was working on the refrigerator. I finally had to go get phone 2 and use it. And actually, I didn't have any problem copying those videos. As far as I can tell, I can't remember now if I've deleted them or not. That might have been a temporary thing. Well, that's kind of took a bit to come back up. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Well, KJ can be kind of system resource heavy. And of course, but it's running quite a bit of processes right now because I've got those. I don't know why there's not. I guess I never did mount the other one. I've got 181 and 194. I think I can tell. Yeah, I can tell by once I get in the file which one's which. I don't want to open. I was fixing to open up the browser to see like I've been doing, but I should be able to. Let me try opening this up. Wait and see if it's going to work. I double clicked on it. It takes a while to open up from oddly enough, the desktop icons kind of hinky about opening things up, so I usually don't use them. But I just did that because I really wasn't thinking about that. I could have just done that, which probably would have. Let's give it a chance. Matter of fact, let's see. Yeah, it's running, but that may just be the process. Yeah, there it is right there. says disk sleep. It could be because it's trying to open up still, or it could be the process is just running in the background because I have that stuff mounted and everything. But there you go, disk sleep. It's not going away. That's just what I was talking about. Oh, that's Crusader. Although that was on KJ. I may have made a bad decision trying to open that up. I'm not going to click on it again because it may be. Sometimes when things aren't working good, it will sit there and not open up for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that, and then all of a sudden it'll open up. Now it's not staying like that, so yeah, I don't know. You can't, like I said, you can't do a whole lot of files with this. I never have been able to. It just works the machine too hard. You can't do a whole lot of files comparing by content in Crusader. It just uses a lot of resources. So, but that's the only way I can see to make sure I'm getting all my videos and pictures. The newest versions and everything. I think I'm going to have to quit trying to do other stuff and let this do what it's doing. I suppose if I quit making video, then that would help the machine. Because if I try to give the machine too much to do, then it won't be able to finish this. And if I want to do it, I'll have to reboot and start it again. But I really wanted to look around. I was thinking, well, while this is going on, I can look at those other phones and see if it looks like I'm going to have to take the SD card out of them. Phone 1's easy. It's it doesn't have rubber bands all over it and everything. I'm sorry, phone 3. That's the one that I have my lapel hooked up to. But I do have to get it up. It's being used right. Well, I'm not talking on it right now, but it's active, serving up the audio. And phone 1 is serving up video, but that's not the one that, the phone 2 is the one I took the SD card out of. But phone 1 is all in the rubber bands too. If I could tell. What I was trying to look a minute just now is, did I delete all the videos out of phone 1 or not? I can't even remember. Now, I think I may have deleted the videos a minute ago. But since KJ, hopefully it was just the click didn't take effect. But I'm not going to click on it again because I can see, yeah, let's just see. It's doing okay. It's not taking forever to check each video file. But I just thought of something I might have been able to do. Total Commander, which only runs in Windows, and I have my virtual XP virtual machine with Total Commander in it. Now that I have the SD card in the USB slot, I might be able. Well, I might. I can't remember. It seemed like I had trouble. I know I can get to the backup drive because I did that yesterday. But if I can get to this USB, then I could use it, and it had a real good sync in it. I used to use that for years and years before, up until 2005 when I discovered Linux. Or when a friend told me about Linux. Yeah. Okay. So can't make this machine do any more than it can do. So it's not doing the disk sleep right now. And I wouldn't close KJ because it might have something to do with. I don't think. I'm kind of thinking now it's been long enough that it probably isn't trying to open up that window. It's probably just the process that's running because of me having those mounted. Now I could unmount them and stuff, but I don't think. I don't think they're using. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. 36 megabyte of memory, so it's not worth risking screwing things up by force into the process or anything. So oddly enough, App Finder, my favorite, I use it to find my applications. It's using more than KJ, and it's not being used right now. It's running its processes in the background. And then 146 megabyte for the NTFS mount. Of course, the top user is the video OBS Studio, the video program. It's not doing too bad though. It's doing what it normally does. So, I was sitting there thinking, I keep coughing and coughing. I was thinking, man, I've been coughing this whole time. And now I remember before I started this video, I got into all kinds of dust. My Hold on, let me get. Hold on, let me get. Okay, now I'm on the lapel, I think. Yeah. Set this back up where I like to have it. It's kind of precariously perched on my. There's a box behind the monitor, and then these sharp legs on the tripod, they will set in these little, well, air vents on the monitor, top of the monitor, and they'll stay pretty good unless you bump into something. I completely forgot what I was fixing to say. Oh, I was messing with some stuff, and my TP-Link router, which I'm not using right now, fell off the back, of the red black Battlestar down to behind the desk, and so then I had to go dig it out, and it's all dusty down there. And then when I got to look, when I picked it up, I remembered it has 3 antennas. It's sitting over there, but where is it? I can't reach it. It's all right. They're loose, and they need to be tightened up. The connector that goes to inside of it. And I messed around with some needles and some pliers and got one of them tightened up, and I realized all 3 of them were kind of loose. And I got to the third one, and it's really hard. What I had done in the past was I had over tightened the antenna, the connector for it, trying to keep them from flopping around. And what I hadn't realized when I did that is that the actual nut that holds the connector into the little plastic case was loose, and that was, So anyway, and it's so close in there, you can barely get anything in there. And I have some pretty small needles; they'll just get in there. But anyway, the more I worked on it, I was like, okay, I need to open this case up and make sure I haven't twisted it around and around and broken the wires, and need to fix that. So I actually thought I would make another video after this one doing that. Now I don't think so, because not today, because it's getting 6 o'clock already. I've been getting up early lately, so I want to keep doing that. And because I'm about to completely lose my voice. So, and this is probably going to take a while too. And this is the most important thing. I almost did that first. I'm glad I didn't. I would have spent hours doing that probably. Just, when you're doing something that might take an hour, then it takes 2 or 3 because you're making a video. So, just with the setup and doing this and doing that. That's working okay, I think. As long as I don't get silly and open up more stuff. So, I forgot that I was just on camera, but yeah. Okay, so my whole quest to back up my phones over SSH is foiled again, and I thought it was, blamed it on, well, there's only one other thing, yeah. One other thing that it might be that I really don't know how to check into other than, it might be the app itself is restricting. I mean, it didn't say anything that I saw in there about you can only transfer up to so big of files. So, I just don't, but every application I've used, Midnight Commander, Lucky Backup, using rsync, KJ, what else did I use? Oh, I tried to use Total Commander, but I couldn't connect. But the ones that would connect, the 3 that I can remember that I connected with, they happily tried to copy the file until it got about half to 3/4 of the way through, and then broke the pipe. It got a broken pipe. The connection was broken, and it didn't finish. And before I was just getting 0. I was getting the file name, but 0 bytes. This last time I got a 200 megabytes file. But then it was stopping Crusader Sync from working right, which is unusual. So, if that's got, if there's like a limitation in that SSH droid, I don't know. I kind of don't think so, because I would think it would be right there on their little page, They did list some things you couldn't do. The one thing I remember it listed you couldn't do was you couldn't do RSA keys on the free version. And anyway, I didn't go reading all their documentation or anything, so I don't know for sure. But that one that's free and open source, there's no limitations at all on it. So if it would work, I would think that it would work. And I showed that yesterday in the video. I found it accidentally in an article I was reading, and was actually looking for, commands that could be run in a remote shell on Android system phones. Android operating systems, and saw that. But my phones are only running Android 4.3, and they're frozen. The manufacturer didn't put out any more ROMs, so I'd have to do a custom ROM and go find, do all that stuff, and I just haven't ever done that. I would like to, because I get rid of, like I said yesterday, get rid of all the junk stuff that Google put on there, the Google apps and all that I don't use, that use up resources and use up memory, use up processing power, and use up space on that little 2 gigabyte onboard ROM, That's especially what I'd like to do, is get them off, get all that off of there, all the apps, their cache, and all the stuff, the tracking they do. And I have already taken several of them off with some, I think it's all-in-one toolbox that did it. It's one of the apps I use that I like for cleaning up the phones, systems and all. But yeah, I think it's probably the one I was using anyway. When it says when you take them off, now this may cause if you take this, like Google, just silly things like Google Book this and Google Music and this and that and the other things like that. If you take them off, then it may mess up your system, may not work right. So I took some of them off anyway. I was careful, of what I took off that I thought would be okay, and it did. Things started not working right, so I had to put them back on. So, because either like get a basic ROM from Android's website, or get one. If you want to have phone service, then you'd have to get one for that phone, that would work with the Alcatel A845L, one that would work with the. Well, I guess it would depend on. Well, I don't know. I haven't got that deep into that. I got mine from Walmart. They were brand new, but they were older models at the time, and they were $15 each. So that's why I ended up with 3 of them. And I actually thought I might. It was a prepaid phone, so I thought, well, if I need a mobile phone, I could just do that for however long I need to. Well, I've never needed to, so I never activated any of them. But I just use them as cameras and kind of pocket PCs, but really don't use them for that much because I can't see those little 4-inch screens. Can't read them without a magnifying glass or stick them under my endoscope. Oh, the endoscope. I can unplug that. I don't think that would hurt. Well, I'll do it. I'll do that after I shut down. It kind of causes trouble when you it messes with OBS Studio. So I can just talk forever, can't I? Anyway, and I went blank. I forget what I was saying, but yeah. So anything that I could do to maybe update. I can't update. I can't use that open source one. You have to have Android 5. I got Android 4.3. There might be others, though I haven't looked. I liked SSH Droid. I didn't even remember that it was limited in its functionality. But I do remember I've always had that trouble. It's always been kind of hit and miss with copying files, with over SSH. And I hadn't even thought that it could be SSH Droid app's fault. I was thinking of the phone going to sleep, number one. But I showed that earlier. I've nailed it down. That app does have settings to make sure it doesn't go to sleep, and it's not going to sleep. Because it's not just doing it. It'll run for a very long time. It's not the time, because my phones are set to go to sleep after 1 to 2 minutes. They always set themselves back to 15 seconds, and then I have to go back and do it, get in the settings and do it again. But I know some of them, between all three, 1 or 2 of them 2 of them I know are on 2 minutes, and the other one I don't know what it's on. But it's not going to sleep so fast I can't use it, so it's probably on a minute. They'll go to sleep. If it goes 15 seconds, you can't even use the thing. So they're not going completely to sleep and shutting down the Wi-Fi. Now, it might be throttling the Wi-Fi, but that was one of those settings I showed in SSH Droid. It's supposed to lock the Wi-Fi, is what they call it in SSH Droid. It's supposed to keep it from throttling it and making it go slow. whenever it's trying to do power saving, and it's supposed to keep it from doing that. So assuming that's working, then that 1.43 megabits that was showing up in Lucky Backup is all I'm going to get, I guess. I should. I mean, the phones will do. They generally do from 35 to 52 megabits. I've seen them up to 72 megabits. So they probably their chip is probably like some labeled 75 megabits or something like that. Is what I would guess. And my routers, my D-Link router that's what I'm using right now. It's a gigabit router, 1200 megabits rating on the Wi-Fi, but I think realistically it'll do about 800 or something like that. That's what I've read somewhere, I think. But I think it's in the specs, in the fine print. But so I should be able to, go as fast as the phone could possibly transfer data, So anyway, let's go back to the desktop before I'm going to go ahead and end this video, I think, because I know this is going to take a good long time. Watch it finish the instant I stop, because I don't know how many files it's compared or anything. But looking at how long it's taking, like almost a minute per video file. Of course, some are bigger and some are smaller, but probably 20 seconds to a minute, I'm going to guess, but for each file, that's going to, and there's probably 20 video files in there. So. But at least this way I'll know that I can safely delete those things, And I don't imagine I'll go through this compare by content on the rest of the folders, because those are really not those are just kind of backed up just in case the operating system breaks or something. I might need that, and the APKs and stuff. But I'm not worried. If an APK gets missed or something, I don't care. You can always go to Google. Go get them from Google, online. But yeah. So there we go. Another. How long is this video anyway? 2 hours and 22 minutes. So I finally just had to give up and take that SD card out. So it just bugs the heck out of me, because I was all into networking when I was doing Windows machine, Windows 98. I started with networking with Windows 98 and then XP, and then I went to Linux, and I still did networking. I actually did even more, because I would network between Windows and Linux machines, and then just in the last year, maybe 2 years, I don't know, it got harder to set up. Well, and I got more and more worried about people trying to break in, from the internet, because there's just so much of that going on. I got to where I didn't use it as much, and it was getting harder to set up, because you had to go do things in the command line and edit config files, whereas you used to just go up here and go to system. Let's see, let's get off of that. Go up here, you go into system, and Genome 2, you go up here, go to system, and I don't remember if it's in preferences or administration, and then there was all kinds of networking stuff and everything, and you could just turn on and turn off whatever kind of networking you wanted, as long as you had it installed, And now, in order to, and also remote desktop and all that stuff. Now you've got I don't remember. It's not too bad. I've gotten more used to doing it, but of course you have to install an SSH server, and then you've got you run a couple of commands, and then and usually you have to hand edit a config file. But it just seems so ridiculous to me, because when I started Fedora 5, and for Fedora 5 it did nothing but get better and better, and instantly from XP to Fedora 5. It was a much better experience, easier to do things, but it was much like XP, the way things worked. And it's still this is Mate Desktop, and it's the fork of Genome 2, so it's much like it, but it doesn't. Still, after all these years, it's been years now, it doesn't have all the features that Genome 2 used to have, and a lot of it they've decided, the developers, that they don't want to make it too easy to do that stuff, because of their security. They're thinking about security, and they're trying to protect people. But And people, if it's there, they'll try it. Well, I used to. I didn't know. I just wanted to try it. I tried it, And well, years ago, you didn't have so many people trying to break into your system from the internet either. But anyway, off on more tangents. But let's see, go back over there again. Just working away at it. So far, so good, though. I was beginning to worry a little bit, but I think if I turn OBS Studio off, I'll have a whole lot more resources for it to use than I've got right now. So I think hopefully it'll finish, and probably tomorrow I don't know, maybe, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say I'll make another video about it, but I'm thinking I will want to, because to kind of just report what's happening, how it goes. Well, I'm not finished. I mean, I want to show, however it works out, whether I can do it. Can't think of any other ways to. I mean, I could spend more time looking for more apps, but that can just spend days looking into apps and trying them out. And and I've done it many times. And I got so many other things to do. So I just wanted to get these videos backed up so I could upload them. That's all I was wanting to do. And then I thought, well, you know what? It's about time I thought it'd take a couple of hours. I thought, I'm going to set up that Lucky Backup to do that. I just remembered something important that I keep forgetting to do. Set up Lucky Backup to back those up, because it generally works really well. Okay, I'm going to go back on the desktop right quick before I go. Oh, I can't do that. I can't open anything up. What it is I need to, I guess I'm going to have to write myself a note. I need to, I want to back up those profiles I set up, to back up over SSH. I mean, it's really not going to be useful now that I realize that it's not working right. But also, I want to look and see if by chance I backed up. I always try to back those profiles and things up. So if I've backed up I'll have a backup. There may be, unless it has the same name and got overwritten, the one that was set up. See, I had all three phones set up, the onboard and the SD card set up to back up. All I had to do is plug in the SD card to the USB adapter, so then it would be there, and then run that backup profile. Now, sometimes the name would change, the automatic name that it gives it, that the system gives it, and I'd have to go change the profile a little bit, but it wasn't, like starting over. So anyway, if I have some backups of those profile the way it was, to do it the way I'm doing it right now, then, well, not right now, to do it with Lucky Backup, with the SD card and the USB adapter, like I used to do it, then I'll be back like that again, and I can do it much, much faster with Lucky Backup. Assuming that it works good without skipping files. I don't remember it ever skipping files, because I just hardly ever do a backup like that when I know I'm going to delete. I'm going to end up with one, like I deleted off the phone, so there's only one copy on the backup drive. When I know there's only going to be one copy, I make darn sure that my backup is good before I delete the original, is what I'm trying to say. So I don't remember having trouble like I'm, with files getting skipped or not completely being copied or anything, using Lucky Backup from the SD card to the USB backup drive. So that's why I'm going to have to keep doing it unless I decide to go hunting for more. The only other idea I have is hunt for more Android apps that are fully functional. I mean, there might be another open source one out there. The one that I saw, won't run on these machines. Either that or upgrade my operating system on my phones, and then I could use that app. But there's no guarantee that it would work. I might have the same problem. I don't know what's causing that problem. It's really something I have seen before, but usually it was some quirk or bug. It's some kind of bug that got fixed later by the developers. You just wait for a while and they fix it. So anyway, I'm sitting here. I'm going to write that note, but I can't talk and write the note at the same time. So I'll write that after I shut down this video. Oh, look there. Speaking of, what did I say? I said if I go ahead and quit, it'll be done. Okay. So let's finish this before I go. Okay, we're on the desktop. Well, sometimes rambling on, it helps, you know. Okay. Now they're all black, so nothing's going to get synchronized. But we'll hit synchronize. Nothing to do. Nothing to see here. Nothing to do. I'm doing a screenshot, I think. Hit screenshot. Maybe it didn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work when. Oh, there it is. Sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes it doesn't work in certain windows. Okay, so now I know that these videos have been backed up. Now that is, yeah, 59.5 gigabyte removable media. So I don't have to worry about, I do get nervous about being in the wrong directory or something. There's one that's got something in. I was going to say, I think one of these camera, that one there's empty, so I couldn't delete anything. Now, this is on my SD card, so now I can clear up space on there. And by the way, in Crusader, the way it is now, it didn't used to be that way, but it will move them to trash by default. But if you hold down Control and hit delete on the keyboard, then it will bring up this dialog to actually delete them for good. So, and I like to do that because my cache starts filling up my system real quick, you know. Oh, I hit delete again. Enter. And there is a little progress bar up there at the top. Okay, let's see. Let's see what other folders are on this. That one's empty. Camera, that's empty too. Okay, so there's nothing else to do there. Now I wouldn't waste time, you know, doing that compare by content on these other folders. And the oh yeah, I'm not on the phone anymore. I was fixing to go over to the onboard memory. Yeah, if you want to do the onboard memory, there's only two ways to do that, either over SSH or USB connection. Now, I've tried, I didn't mention that, but I've tried doing a USB connection, and it wouldn't let me get into the folders I needed to get into. It'll only let me get into certain ones. And so that's why I didn't do that as an alternative to taking the SD card out. I should have tried it again to make sure. Maybe I just got turned around and wasn't doing it right or something. But I'm blank. There's an application that I used to use a long time ago, and I looked at it a little bit yesterday when I wasn't on video. It's in my virtual, you know, my WinXP virtual machine. It's called My Phone Explorer, and it only runs in. It has to have a companion app. There's an app you put on the phone, and then there's a companion app that you have to put in Windows machine. And so, and I looked at it, and I used to use it to back these phones up. That's one reason why earlier I was showing, oh man, I've got some duplicate backups. That's because I was using that app, and it would be automatic. Anytime it sensed a Wi-Fi or a USB connection, it would automatically back everything up. You could tell it to, I was looking at it yesterday, you could tell it to just back up, you could tell it to mirror the backup with the phone, you could tell it to back up the phone and then delete the files with the phone, which sounds convenient, but it's really different the way the settings are in there from what I'm used to with other backup apps. And I kept having trouble of it doing things I didn't want it to do, you know, I wasn't getting what I was expecting. And so I really couldn't trust it. And then it got to where I quit using it because I got tired of having to, you know, boot up a Windows machine just to use it, or a virtual machine. And I used to have some Windows machines, and I used to use them, but they didn't have enough hard drive space, and they kept filling up. Like this laptop that I'm running Devane on, that I've monitored my feed, my live stream with. It still has XP on it, but it's all full of malware or something now, and I don't know where it got it. I hardly ever turn the thing on. But I did share it with somebody and let them use it too, so maybe that's what happened. But they needed it for using OBD readers for the vehicle, you know. But that's probably what happened. Matter of fact, and I think I do know that's what happened. I had seen three of those OBD apps that were free that actually, oddly enough, whole nother story, but that had malware on them. But I think at least three of them, and the two worst ones came off the CD. It was one of those mini CDs that came with the OBD reader. OBD2 reader, I think it was. So when you buy things from China, you better check their software they're sending you for malware before you use it. I mean, this wasn't just some, oh well, it's kind of watching what you're doing. This was sure enough Trojans. So yeah, that's what messed that laptop, that XP on this Dell 6000 laptop. But I haven't reform. I was gonna, I didn't want to start over and rebuild it, so I just kept trying to clean it up. But it's to the point where, I mean, it won't even run anymore. You can't use it. And I've tried to clean it up several times over. And like I'll mess with it for a few days and then not mess with it for a year. Forget. Yeah, so I just remember that laptop's dual boot machine. But the Windows XP can't be used right now. But anyway, I have to have another cough drop if I'm gonna talk at all. But so okay, so this it's cleaned up. Just looking at it again to make sure. Yeah, this one's cleaned up. Now, when with go back in there and make sure that's getting long, isn't it? 4.6 gigabytes. Yeah, before you don't stay in that folder because it'll try to go back to before you take a drive out and close Crusader. It'll save you headaches. That's it right there. And it's not good to just unplug USBs in Linux. I think it's kind of more picky about that than Windows might be. I've always tried to remove the drive. So I right click. Sometimes it'll say remove drive safely. Sometimes it just says eject. I don't know why it changes. So I'll get it out of there now that it says it's safe. So the little adapter still works even though it's all cracked. But let's go back to the endoscope. And the phones, of course, all took apart up there. But get that out of there. I'm going to have to do something about that. What I'd like to do, because of it being really messed up, I don't know, I'm afraid I might completely destroy it. If I could. I have that other one identical to this. It doesn't work. The electronics seem to have gone bad. But the case is good. If I could, I might try taking that other one apart. If I can take it apart without breaking it, and then take the good part innards out of this one and put it in the other one. But first I might just try wrapping some thin tape around it to hold it together, and I could try putting a little glue up in that area, but I don't know if I can even get glue in there and get it all over the contacts and just make it not work. But I don't know if you can, some machines the tape might not let you put it in the slot, So anyway, I'm gonna have to put this in there. I always notice that you better watch those. They'll move on you when you've got them apart. And then my battery hasn't really changed. It's still about as swell as it was, but it's not hot or anything, so I think it's okay. Contacts. Right there. Okay. Contacts. There we go. I hadn't realized that it had swollen today. It wasn't swollen like that the last time I looked at it. Yeah, you gotta push on it a little more to get it to close. And the funny thing is that it wasn't on the charger. Being on the charger is usually when it swells. I don't know if you can kind of see how round it is, but you can really feel it, I'll tell you that. Yeah, if I keep using these, I can get batteries for about $50 and something. But if I'm gonna spend, so I need 3 of them, so if I'm gonna spend that much money, I thought, well, put that towards a real camera, you know. I would like to have at least one real camera. So it's back to normal. Let's turn it on and make sure everything's okay with it. I won't, I'll put it together later on the tripod. Yeah, it's, I don't know if you can't see that, I'm sure, but Track Phone Wireless is what the service is. It says on there. I think that's the service provider that, the actual service provider that Walmart uses. But seems to be back to working. Whoops. I was opening up. That open, those 2 things open up on their own all the time. I think one of those is, that's where I don't read them. I just close and just get it out of there. Oh, the darn screen. Yeah, it must be on 15 seconds. I went to sleep. I'm gonna see what that is. I can't remember what app that is. Oh, that's the Hacker's Keyboard settings. I don't know why it keeps doing that. And every time you enable, I like that Hacker's Keyboard has a full number keyboard. I'm trying to. I can't do it. Up there, it's just too straight. Oh, it keeps going to sleep. So I need to get it set to. It's set. Now get out of there before. Yeah. 3 apps. Oh, I opened up VLC. That and something else opens up half the time. I need to go to display and auto rotate. Screen turns itself off and the sleep is on 15 seconds. I'm just going to put it on 2 minutes this time. It really doesn't matter what I put it on, it's not going to stay. I don't want the weather effect. Okay, so I was trying to open up. Try that again, I guess. I forgot how I did it now. Oh, like this. I had it in just a certain place that I could see the first time I did it. But it kept falling. Oh, no. No media files found. That's why I was opening up VLC to see if it said that. That's what I wanted it to say. I expected it to say. I didn't know if there might be some It's upside down from, there we go, the way I normally hold it like that so I can get to the buttons. Okay, so yeah, you see it. It's a boat. I mean, it's got a rounded, there you can kind of see. If it's any worse, it'd be opening it up. Yeah, see, I accidentally touched something there. Did something. Oh, and this one won't. Well, it worked this time. It won't. That's the home screen. It won't ever go there. It'll go to the next one. And you don't. No matter how many times you hit home screen, it'll just. And wherever you are, it'll go back to there. And I don't know why it's doing that. I never have figured that out. I hit the back button and it went back to the home screen. Let's see. Normally, if you hit the middle one, that's the home screen button. That went. Now, I don't know, me taking the battery out and putting it back in might have reset things. But, see, it's still at 97%, and I've had it running for hours, and it was serving up the audio. It does really well on that. 97%? Huh. I can't believe it's that high, because I haven't plugged it in a long time. Oh, this is camera 2. It's been plugged in. Okay. No, the other one, I'm actually talking on it right now. Sorry, I mixed up. It's at 97%. They generally stay at a 97 to 100% because I keep them plugged in, because when you're running the camera, they will run down in 10 minutes. So the ones that I'm using for camera stay charged up. But anyway, there's no more to show about that. Yeah, I don't need it on. And like I said, I won't pain you with putting it back in the rubber band deal. Although I guess it would prove my point if I showed it. But it's, unless well, it's just hard that endoscope is, I got it set at the height that's just right to put stuff under it, but really if it's laying down, and so I couldn't, that camera, the only good place I have to set it is too far away, that's too close. So to try to show, like something intricate like putting those rubber bands back on there would just be hard. And what I need to do, I need to be able to look at my preview straight on. I need to have it within my reach. So what I do, when I do something like that, I bring my work table right here and shove my keyboard tray in. And that works pretty well. But there's really no point in doing all that. Okay, so now that I can, let me think. Oh, I was trying to open up on this one of these. I'm just about done getting them all straightened out now, I think. Let's see. 181 and 194. Okay, there they are right there. I'll just go back in there. I can't go there with Crusader. I wish I could, because you see how much better it is at comparing files. If I could figure out how to get there. Oh, yeah. I just remembered. Let's go and use that search. Normally I search my backup drive because it's got everything, but I don't want to do that. That takes too long. So I want to go on my whole system, just my system, not my back. Oh, that'll still go through to the backup drive. So Crusader's the only one that I know that has a way to cancel. Can you exclude? You can do all kinds of things. Yeah, exclude other file systems. Oh, okay. That might work. If that'll automatically exclude the, then you got to go to other and then go to other locations, I guess. Yeah, computer. Kind of funky finding. Now, because I'm going to try to find the GPFS all, GV, exclude other file systems. Show hidden in backup files. Well, that won't help me any. Yeah, it's a pretty good search, really. It didn't used to be this good. It used to be painfully slow, but now it's fast. Lots of features. I don't know if it's the same one that they always had, but this is the one that comes with Fedora now. Okay, file system, exclude other file systems. So I will be searching my backup drive. Now the GVFS folder, I could probably say look for a folder, but then I wouldn't be able to, I don't think I could exclude. Oh, do you have to? Oh, you can have more than one thing. What just happened there? Yeah, exclude other file systems. Okay, now then. No, I don't see anything about look for folders only. You can do a text search. I'll go ahead and do show hidden in backup files. I thought you just selected one, but I think maybe you need to go ahead and do that. Yeah. I don't think it would have been doing anything. You know what? Maybe I tried that and I never did catch on to that. That's the first time I remember ever catching on to that. I sure hope my sound is working. I just realized that my mic is up there. Yeah, okay, I'm talking on this. Let's go ahead and. Okay, back on the SM58. Because I'm coughing so much, I know it's super loud whenever I cough. GVFS. Okay, that should work. Exclude other file system. I have to remember to take that out of there the next time I search, unless it goes away automatically. There we go. I used to always use the Crusader search, but it does use it's pretty slow, really, and it uses a lot of resources too. Okay, now we're on one of the phones. I'm not sure which one. Yeah, 2. Yeah, 2 is, because it won't be 2 because it's not even running. So it's either going to be 1 or 3. But I should be able to tell by what's in the folders. One of them I cleaned it out. I always have trouble finding. It's in alphabetical order. I don't know why I have trouble. There we go. Storage. Finding storage. This one still has its stuff in it. This one is probably phone 1, and I'm a bit leery of trusting this. Yeah, I backed it up a while ago, but I didn't. I thought, well, I don't know if I trusted enough to delete it. That was the thing. I remember that now. The Crusader sync lets you look through, and I don't know. It may not be. Well, I have had trouble with these apps. I hardly ever use them because I've had trouble with them. These Windows Explorer style apps. You can do show hidden files. Let's do that. I don't think there's any hidden files in that folder, but now then. But I want to do extra pane. Now we want to go to Seagate backup drive. I still haven't figured out which phone this is, though, have I? I may not be able to figure it out. I think I better just go in the browser. Now I can, I think. Let's see, is that finished? No, it's working its way. See, that's fast. That's searching the whole file system of this computer, but not the. I'm assuming that's working like I expected, not the backup drives. Because a 5 and an 8 terabyte backup drive, well, I mean, of course they're not full, but there's probably 2.5, 3 terabytes of backup twice. So TVS FS lib 64. See if we can open that folder. I think that's just the program. But we'll try opening it and see if it puts me on the be able to go to those remote. Then I'll be able to copy and paste the address into Crusader. That's what I used to do. Well, actually, I didn't have to copy and paste. I knew where it was in my home folder. I just go to it. Basically, I think what might have been in there, now that I think about it, was you didn't go straight to a folder of the remote drives or systems. You go to a link to those. Anyway, it worked. That's taken a while to open up, isn't it? And this is typical of this KJ. It's not even a remote folder. Of course, I am running more stuff right now, but let's see. Yeah, so what do we got? System-wise, Xorg and KSyscard. KSyscard using 1%. Xorg is your whole, running your whole desktop, what you see, everything you see. So that gets out of whack, you're in real trouble. But I see it do that all the time. But that is why it's using that much, because it's doing a lot. It's a whole big part of your system. There, it finally opened up. There it is. I don't know if that was the folder I was in earlier or not. Doesn't want to respond. So that's like a Java. Those are usually .so files, or only thing I know of they have anything to do with is Java. Huh. But that's not what I want. Just leave it like that. And when it gets through searching, then maybe if there's something there, we'll be able to find it maybe. Sometimes you find it long before it's done, Share licenses. Just leave it like that so I can see the last thing I did. Okay. I don't know. With the search going on, we'll try it. I've been working the system for a long time, pretty hard, so if something goes wrong, you'll know I pushed it too far. That's 194. Camera 1 is 194. And that's what I'm on. Okay, so this is camera 1. Yeah, I guess it was 3 that I went ahead and decided it was safe to delete them. And I didn't ever open up. Well, I didn't because I was trying to figure out which one I was on. Open camera. Okay. What if we go by date modified? Let's see. Can't see the arrow. Okay, that one's going up. That one's going down. Oh, I did by type because they weren't evenly. Okay. up, May 17th and 19. I believe that's the newest. And then the bottom is 16. Yeah. Oh, that's, yeah. Yeah, see 16, 17, 18, 19. I think that's probably how long I've had these phones, about 3 years. So, that's the backup. That's the camera. Okay, yeah, see those are 198 megabytes, 1.8 gigabytes, 371 megabytes. It's looking like I am good. 1.8 gigabyte, 740. Can't see the full file name now. Let's see. At least want to see the full video file name. That's the ones I'm worried about. Okay, so okay, yeah, let's go to the oldest one now. See, I haven't done it in a while. That's 2018 November. That's how long it's been since I've backed them up. Whoops. I used to didn't know how to read that. That's actually the date. 2018 11/24. 2018 11/24. I found it. Okay, 184 megabytes. November 23rd, 2018, 11/47/36. Yep. Okay, so it looks like they are successfully copied over. I'm going to do this one more time in here. I know I did that a while ago, but I'm really still leery. Copy to other pane. Oh, that's it. Select new name for this. That's why. Before I just clicked on that without paying much attention. Skip. So it just doesn't do anything, see, when there's nothing to write. Now, that's one thing that really gives me no confidence in what's going on. Okay, so now I'll go back. And before, I went ahead and did every folder I could get to. That's the backup. There's a whole lot more folders in there. See, that's probably because of, like I said, using that My Phone Explorer to back up and doing all kinds of different ways. Those are some of those, like Badu. I remember seeing that on the absolute root of the system. So at some point I had got in there. Might have been back when I could get in there with Crusader, and I don't know how that would make any difference. I'm going to say under root privileges, and that wouldn't make sense. But under root privileges and copied it, but I don't think that's how I did it. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know how I did that, but SD card. Oh, but I am going to check. I don't even remember if I've tried that. And then copy to other pane. Folder Android secure cannot be handled because you do not have permission. Yeah. There it is right there. That's always happens. So I'm going to say skip. There we go. That doesn't matter. It's not something I care about. I'm going to apply to all, merge, and then it looks like we have one. Let's see. I hadn't thought about. See, the reason I always say skip is because, and I wasn't reading the readout. It says 36 bytes, 36 bytes. But I just kept saying skip all, so you see that's what if one of them's bigger? The original file is bigger, then you would want to override it. Like if one of those videos hadn't been copied, that's a 0 byte, that's a 0 byte. But I don't want to sit there and do that for all of them. That's why I like a program that has a sync function because, I mean, it seemed like it worked. I think that if it was bigger, probably automatically go ahead and in this program go ahead and automatically override it. but I am not sure. And if I hit replace, it would try to write every one of those files, and that would take forever. So that was why I was worried. But it looks to me like that they are all there. I just wish I had something else to make me feel more safe about it. I could do Midnight Commander, but it did the same thing. Well, it does have a better. Well, it doesn't have a synchronize either. FileZilla does have a better compare, but like I said, it changes the dates too. I don't know if I ever figured out how to make it do it the right way. It might do it, but the other day, yesterday or day before, I tried to connect to it and I couldn't connect. Now, I might have just been doing the settings wrong. I wasn't sure. This is the one where I wanna go ahead and delete these files if it's safe. Is this done yet? I think it might be done. That's not going to be it, but let's open it anyway. Open. Yeah. Just licenses. So I thought it might be. You see how slow that is? It's still working. So I was ready. I'm done. I saw what I want to say. I want to close it, but if you do that, it'll hang up. You got to wait for it to finish. There we go. Kind of look at the files, individual files. One of them might be one that's a link to, getting you there. Getting you to open it up in another program, or a program, any program. Best to look at see if any of them look like a link. Type shared library. I guess if I do that, I might know. That's a folder. Yes, I already went in there. Shell script. Folder. Translated messages. Machine readable. Plain text document. Some gzip files. Emacs. User share Emacs, man. But it says GBFS. I don't know what those are doing there, what they're for. They might be RPM cache or not Yum cache, but DNF cache. That might be what it is from installations and stuff. Where are they? User share man. They're manuals? I guess they're manuals. Manual pages or something. They're in the user share, so they could be read by any user. Should be. Document. There's a document. That might tell you how to use it more. User share. Okay, now that. I don't know if I've been in there or not, but that's sounding more like. Oh no, that's the one I already went to. It didn't get me anywhere. At least if I didn't see it. If it was, good. As soon as it gets to where I can go into the other folder, there we go. Admin mount. FTPS. Excuse me. Did I see that before and say that was the one I didn't quite know what it is? It makes me think if it's SFTP but written backwards. What I'm wondering is, would that open up the, well, I guess, that's not the way I did it though. That's not how I didn't copy, execute a file in Crusader. I'm almost certain. I just found a folder I could go into that I remember, or maybe it had a link in it, but it was a link, not a not a mount file like that. So I don't think that would do. I think I've already been in there. Yeah, that's a document. That's user share doc. Yeah, readme news authors. Yeah, look at that. Ah, BRT. Okay, that's a debug file, so that's not gonna be it. rlib dnf yum. What is dnf yum yum dg? Huh. That's like now that's probably cache. There's one that says bar cache abrt. ABRT, automatic bug reporting. That's what ABRT is. Yeah, repo. That is DNF cache right there. Has those auto-generated names. Okay, so I can't find. I've searched the whole system. Can't find anything like the olden days of being able to, go in there and get to the these mounted servers. With other programs besides KJ, or well, I mean, I might be able to, like, I might be able to say, which one are we on right now? This is 194. So let's say I just thought of that. Let's try the other one. Right click. I wonder if you can do open with other application. You got to be kidding me. Why didn't I think of that to start with? Crusader, but I don't want to, right now I don't want to say always do that. Turn that off. Because I don't know if it'll work. That's already mounted and it's already there, so look at you. Now here's where we are. We're in root run user. And there it is. But it's not going to go, wait. Oh, that's not what I thought it was. Keyring, GVFS. Ah, here we go. Now let's see if that works. Give me a screenshot of that. Now let's see. Which one were we already in? I don't want to go in the same one. 194. Okay, this should be. Just hit enter is what I did. Here we are. Okay, so get back into that root of that. Now let's see if I can. I want to make a shortcut. Create a new folder. Paste from clipboard. I forgot how you make a shortcut. Or a bookmark or whatever. Symlink. That was the word I kept trying to think of. Symlink would be okay, but I'd actually want one. What I want is like put one up here or something. Copy that. I wonder if I can make a copy to other panel pack. Figure shortcuts. There we go. I know that wouldn't do it, but I found it. And it was so simple. These are the the defaults that you can add and take away. I know there's a way to cancel that. I'm getting there to mess things up. Ah, bookmark. Set jump back point, jump back, add bookmark. First I'm going to hit add bookmark. That's all I know how to do that. Now, set jump back point. I don't know how to use that. I never used that. But that's where you go to make a bookmark. Now there's the bookmark, I guess, right there. So if I go on this side, yep, there's my bookmark. Okay, so yeah, that's one of those situations where you can't do a screenshot with that window. I can do it with the other program, but I don't want to fiddle with that right now. Okay, so get out of here. I'll leave that open so I'll know which one I'm in quickly and easily. So let's do, which one was I in? 194, which is, whoops. Phone 1, is 194? Okay, phone 1 is 194. So on this side, I want to go to 194. Very good. And let's get into storage, SD card O. Now on this side, we'll go to backup drive. Actually, you know what? I just remembered another thing. You can go to your back. Well, I do that all the time. You can either go the long way or go like that. Now then, phone 1. Phone 1. And back up. Now, I want to synchronize. And there's a lot of folders. Sometimes it's good to select your folders. Right click. And then synchronize selected files. And go that way. This time I've got them just going the other way. That way it doesn't have to read all those other directories that have nothing to do with what you're syncing. Oh yeah, and I've still got compare. Yeah, it does. It leaves your settings, so it's going to compare by content. I really didn't want to do that on everything. Now it's doing the, what's it doing? An APK file. I think I'm going to have to stop that and wait a minute. Maybe it's going to go faster than I think, because this one doesn't have as, I don't think it has as many videos. I just remembered about the APKs aren't taking too long. It's a good thing to do this. But yeah, it's going to end up taking way too long to do it that way. I forgot about that. What's that? Huh. I don't know why they're red, but I'm going to skip that anyway. Probably because they're the same. Yeah, it looks like it. First, let's go into the, well, let's just do it without that. Hit synchronize again. Oops, cancel. Right click, synchronize selected, unclick, compare by content. As a rule, I don't normally use that anyway. I'm just doing it this time because it seemed to be the only way to make sure I was right with those videos. Finally. Now see, that's not so quick, and it's generally safe to do it that way. Oh, looky there, that one's 0. There you go. Now let's see if it writes those or not. It should write those. Let's find out. So I do have two videos over there that are 0 file size, just like I was having noticed in the other phone too. There's another one. Let's synchronize and see if it writes them. I really don't know. Well, if you say overwrite, it's going to overwrite all files. So we'll skip. Okay, now let's do that again and see if it comes up with those same ones. And if it does, then I would have to do something different, that's for sure. It went so fast, I don't believe it wrote those videos. They're still there. Okay, so, and let me see, how can I do this? Synchronize. There's something's not doing right. Maybe if you just said confirm over, don't say confirm overwrites. Let's do that this time. Maybe it's better not to do that in this case. Usually it's a real good idea to confirm overwrites, left or right. There's something wrong with I'm going to just see if that cleared. Oops. Cool. Synchronize selected files. I'm not sure if that's what I did. I'm getting to where I have to have a break now. I'm getting tired too, and it's getting late. But now that I figured out how to do this, I'm all excited. Well, the last time I ended up having to delete that one 200 megabyte file. No, it didn't help. Synchronize has nothing to do, but yes, it does. Can you believe that? Can I do a screenshot of that? Okay, so there is a learning experience right there. Here's what I'm thinking now. Let's see if we can figure out what now see all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 0-byte files. Now I already did this before and it didn't help. I'm going to get off of unselect all those so I don't accidentally delete them. Okay, now that's on the backup drive. Delete those. Now let's see if the backup works properly. Yeah, Strontium 2. This is in SD card O. Well, this time I'm just going to hit sync because you can actually accidentally delete things when you're right clicking, and let's see if it takes any longer to scan. Still don't want to compare it by content yet. I normally never had to before. Maybe there's a whole something weird going on. Well, it happened off the SD card too, though. It was not going to overwrite that file, even though it was smaller. Now it's not showing that it has anything to do. Not a single file shows up to be copied, but yet we know there's 4 videos that need to be copied over. I'm going to say confirm overwrites again because that's generally this always saved my bacon many times. Now maybe it's going to go ahead and copy files, but I certainly didn't see any. It's not just, done, nothing to do or anything. Left to right. Make sure we're doing it right. I kind of got in the habit of always just going right to left copy and always set up my directories that way so that I wouldn't get confused and forget which way to go. But just now I thought, well, I don't want to do all. I like the way I got it laid out, so let's leave it like that. But it's throwing me off a little bit. Ready 6 files. Ready 0 6 files. I don't know. I don't know if it's counting up those 4 or 5. What was it? Was it 6 files? I guess it was, wasn't it? I didn't see them in the window though. And usually it'll show you, by color codes, you can see it real quick, what files it's fixing to copy. So after all that, if I would have just remembered how to, once you mount the remote file system, how to get it to open up in Crusader. It's really so simple. Right click on that desktop icon and open with. Why didn't I think of that? Now that I did it just now, I remember I've done that a few times recently. I thought of it before. So just right click on that desktop icon, open with whatever app you want, and in my case I want Crusader. It's got this real good sync feature to it. Normally, like I've said 100 times, I still can't understand why Lucky Backup didn't do it right. It always has before. And I don't know if it would have done it right on that SD card. I didn't go try that. When I had the SD card on the USB adapter in there, it might have worked like it should if I'd have had it that way. Normally, I do like to sync in Crusader, but normally Lucky Backup's more dependable about getting it right. But boy, not over SSH. Now, that's taken forever to count up. But it looks to me like it's counting up all the bits and bytes that it's going to copy of those 6 video files, and then I guess it'll do it. And to be safe, I said before, well, I'm not going to compare by content all these other folders. And actually, you know what? I'm not. But I am going to compare by content the DCIM folders before I decide that I'm done and ready to delete. But this is taking so long now, and I'm not going to interrupt it. I'm going to let it do it because I think it's going to work. It looks like as long as it's taking, I think it is going to. Unless it hangs up and can't finish the copy. That would be the one thing that could happen, is it starts writing those files, and it gets half to 3/4 of the way through, and then the pipe breaks like the other apps. If that's the case, then I'm glad I kept looking and rechecking, because there was 6 videos on this one that hadn't got copied. So, dang, God, that's a real pain. So I may have to take... I'm on phone 1 now, right? That's the one that's got the video streaming. It could speed up things up a lot. I think it's the one with that's giving me the video stream. Let's see. I meant to go here. Phone 1. Yeah. So really, I could make that go much faster. Now it's followed me over to that page there. Crazy thing. Get it back in that window. It's copying a file now, I think. Yeah, it's copying a file. I guess that's 0 of 6 files. So yeah. So it is copying files now. So deleting those 0, I've seen that before. Windows, Linux, either one, sometimes it happens. Not sure what causes that condition, but a file doesn't get written right, and it's showing, and it's 0 bytes on your, when your backup where you wrote to, but when you use it, Lucky Backup, Crusader, actually every one of these programs I tried, none of them saw that file was 0 bytes, and evidently it's not looking at the size, it's looking at the date and time, I guess. That's the only explanation I got. So I guess compare by content, I thought it looked inside the files, but maybe it really just goes by the size more than anything. So I really don't know, but I got to have a break badly, so I'm just going to have to. This is a super long video for now, I know, but this will do its job. And 6 of these video files, that could be anywhere from 500 megabytes to 3.5 gigabytes, 4 gigabytes. It's going to take a while, so I'll let it run, and then tomorrow I'll end everything. I'm going to do it. I probably won't let it run that compare by content tonight. I'll wait till tomorrow to do that, because it's 7:18 now, and I need to eat and have to click over here on OBS Studio to go. So, yeah, and once I close down OBS Studio, I can turn off that camera app to help the, transfer rates, I think. So, oops, that wasn't where I meant to be. That was probably music too. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna go and like I said about an hour and 2 hours ago, I'm gonna go and tomorrow I'll finish up. But at least now I'm made some headway, and I'm especially glad that I finally figured out how to do that. That was a simple thing to get that to open up in Crusader. All right, I'll see you later.